Destroy all monsters. Massive armies versus mad monsters for possession of planet Earth. Destroy all monsters.
ズバリ賞
流星バッジがもらえるんだ。フラッシュビーム型ボールペンもあるよ。
シスコウルトラマンチョコレート新発売
Today on Collect All Monsters, you've got questions, we've got answers, plus we've got a giveaway. You gotta stay to the end of the show to check it out. Ikimashou!
Why, hello and welcome to another episode 40 of Collect All Monsters, the YouTube show that celebrates the Kaiju genre from the collectible side of things. How's it going? Glad you're here today. We got 17 people watching live with us on YouTube. And let's see here. We're going to just go straight into it at the top of the show here. And we're going to just note that Christine is not with us today. Our co-host Christine is... I didn't come up with some crazy kooky thing that she was doing instead of doing the show today. But hey, it doesn't matter because we've got my great co-host from Kaiju Cast here, Gretchen. Hello, girl. What's up? And welcome.
Oh, wow, the sound effects.
Welcome. We have improved quite a bit since we started the show.
Kaiju Cast.
We're a class act up in here.
Yeah, so Gretchen is going to be joining us here today, and because this is her first time on the show, really, with us for one of these episodes, I thought I'd toss it to you first and say, Gretchen, thanks for being here. Is there anything that you want to share or anything that you've gotten recently that you definitely want to show off in our segment called
right off the bat,
and Tell?
Okay, so, I was a guest at this convention called Fan Expo in Portland. I was part of a panel for talking about Cthulhu in comics, and I'm like the manga contingent. But that aside, I found this Safumi artist named John Gabia, and his toy is Gooby. He's like a kind of like, I don't know if you can see this very well. He's like a Garamon, but like this is the Evangelion colors, and then this is a flaming one. But he looks a little bit like Garamon eating ramen.
I always approve of Kaiju eating ramen.
Right? I mean, immediately I was drawn. I was like, "Oh my god!" And he goes, "Well, I have a gashapon," and I was like, so I immediately bought coins and started doing the gashapon. And of course, it didn't work because it was on display for it. And then I got these two guys. Yeah, that's what I've got lately. Cute. They're kind of cute and kawaii.
Yes.
That's like your style. Like, so if people don't know, Gretchen collects small guys scale items. So she's got quite a lovely collection of tiny kaiju.
Fantastic.
Like the Creature Bazaar Gonkyu. He's a cutie. Yeah. But other than Mark Nagata's piece, I got his he finally came in.
Oh,
my Pride guy.
Cool.
I love that one. I've got him right behind
Just in time for Pride.
Yes, perfect.
Awesome.
So maybe when the next time we do like collector's cribs, we'll have Gretchen show off her tiny collection.
My wall.
Her tiny size collection, not her tiny collection.
It's like literally a wall. Ta-da!
Hey, that's all right.
Yep.
It's on the short list of the agenda stuff, is getting the collector cribs video stuff happening. So yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again for being here.
Yes.
No
and we'll of course
My
pass
pleasure.
things over to Mr. Leslie Chambers.
Leslie,
have you gotten anything over the past month that we need to see? Your last 2 or 3 episodes have
These are gonna be
been
giant,
fairly
aren't
epic, even though you pass it off as not a big deal. trying to be very John-esque down there.
What's up behind you?
But you're muted too. So what's going on, dude? What's happening in Leslie's world?
Well, not much. I didn't get much. Just a little bit.
Giant thing behind him.
Yeah, what's that?
We'll get to that, but yeah, I did get a few things for myself. But actually, you know what? Half of myself and half is for my beautiful wife, Sandra. But we'll get to my stuff first. Cause
Sandra, who's watching right now.
Yeah, because her stuff is far more epic than mine. But first and foremost, I did get my hands on the 25 centimeter set of the X Plus Wonderfest 1973 Godzilla and Gigan.
Get out of here!
Nice.
Wow.
How'd you find
He's
it?
happy.
It's a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Courtesy of Nick Sides, he was selling the set, and I was able to get it. And this actually was one of the last few grails that I've been hunting for as far as like X Plus, because there's not too many of them left, quite frankly.
Right.
And
congrats on that.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always wanted this Godzilla. Like I wanted the mouth open and all that good stuff.
Yes.
But you know,
it looks so much different than the standard.
Yeah.
It looks like a brand. It looks like a whole different set.
Yeah. Trying to find him is like trying to find a rational Monsterverse fan. You just can't find one out there.
Yeah. Pretty bad out there.
Oh yeah, I'm going in, folks. Today. But yeah, I've been on the hunt for this guy for the longest time, and thanks to Nick, I was able to get it. And on the year that Megalon celebrates his 50th anniversary, so the acquisition is very, 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 very timely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think it illuminates a problem that I think X Plus has been having as of late, because they haven't been producing a lot of stuff. And you would think that by now, halfway through the year almost, that we would have seen something about them honoring Megalon. But we haven't seen anything yet. You know what I mean? And I was hoping they would have reissued this set. You know, maybe give it maybe a darker paint job on Godzilla or something with their Jaguar. But so far, they haven't done anything to honor Megalon. It's a daggone shame that Cavity Colors did more to honor Megalon than X Plus has done. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Sidebar, have you seen the cast releases that they're going to be doing?
Yes, they look fantastic.
So, yes.
They look so
There's
great.
like, one of them is like, I swear, it's like, cast does these things that make me go, I would never have even thought about that for a collectible. And it's like the statue or the ornament that they're like worshiping in the Moo room. It's just, I love that stuff. Anyway, sorry. So the Megalon, I'm glad that some people are honoring Megalon.
Nice. My items.
Yeah, John. Exactly.
I'm jumping on it.
I mean, because, you know, John gets everything, so that's nothing new on this show, quite frankly. But you know what? We're going to stick with the show with the next acquisition. And again, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Steve Serragioli and Beto Matali from Roto Kaiju. I think you know what I'm talking about. But I got everybody's favorite mechanical ape, Doctor Who's evil mechanical ape, the Roto Kaiju 35 centimeter.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So cute.
Boy.
And it's the fully weaponized one with the grenade belt and the King Kong hypnotic disco ball right there. And finally, I have a Mechanicon with proper grenade bombs, because you know, if you saw the one I put together with my ghetto ingenuity, I took basically some worn down batteries, painted them gray, and took super glue, crazy glue, gorilla glue, and attached them all the way around Mechanicon, and it had like residue pouring out of the body. Again, you would think Ray Charles put that thing together. That's how horrible that thing looked. You know what I mean? But now I have a proper Mechanicon. You know what I'm saying? Thank you to Steve, and thank you to Beto. Steve built and painted this thing for me. So thank you. And of course, if you saw our model kit episode a couple months ago, Steve did announce that there are plans to reissue Mechanicon for the Kaiju in the gigantic size scale.
Wow.
You know
crazy, man.
And they're going to do a King Kong 62 gigantic. And I think he mentioned, David, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he said that they want to do a Godzilla 2 from King Kong.
I think that was something that had been mentioned. Whether it's actually in the works, I'm not quite sure, but I mean,
you never know.
Maybe that would be cool. That would be awesome.
You never know.
We love that stuff, and you just have to let me say the line from the actual movie. that Mihama says as Madam X, "Are you sure you just didn't create a giant toy?" I think they did create a giant toy, a giant model. No, but I love that line. That's the greatest dubbed version of any Kaiju Toho film, because I just love that dubbing.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous and over the top. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, too bad Doctor Who's teeth looked like he was chewing on shark glass. You know, I would never understand that. Even though I would say that Doctor Who is like one of the most he's one of the coolest villains, human villains in the tokusatsu genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has that cape, he has that hat, he has that black outfit, but for some strange reason he couldn't go to a dentist. Like, seriously? You got money to build a Mechanicon, you can't take you up on
not a priority.
No,
I think there's a reason that Issei Yamamoto was constantly being cast as bad guys.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
It's all in the tooth.
Yeah.
He would have fit in on Giant Robo.
yeah. Well, his lower jaw was like a villain in and of itself, quite frankly, in King Kong Escape. But I digress.
Yes.
But again, thank you to Steve making this happen.
Steve is awesome, and Nick is awesome. You got two great salespeople right there.
Yes.
Now we're going towards Sandra's stuff. And again, Sandra's stuff is the more epic of the two stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the Wonderfest 73 set. I love Mechanicon. But I would have to say, I think she takes it this time. But she did get her hands on the this is the defensive form, of Mothra.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow.
I think it's gigantic.
It is.
35 centimeters, and you would think it's resin, but it's vinyl. It is vinyl. It is translucent vinyl. If you put a light source through it, she will light up. It is extremely detailed. Now, I know, there are not many MonsterVerse fans in this show, but I think even y'all can admit this is a cool collectible, right?
Oh, definitely.
I liked the movie that's from. Like, yes, that's a cool collectible.
I think he's talking about me mainly, and I'll own it, man. I'm going to own it.
I mean,
it's cool.
I think it's just
cool.
varying degrees, right?
Yeah, varying degrees, but I'll own it. I think it looks like the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
That is awesome.
Sorry,
the eyes are really cool.
That's the first thing I see when I see that figure, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, but again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Nobody's wrong for having an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Some things will appeal to folks, some things will not. It is what it is. But still, with this Mothra larva, like, again, the detail on this thing, especially the fact that it is vinyl, like, even detail on the eyes looks so cool. And you have the various orange and the highlights, whatever. Probably one of the best Mothra larva collectibles out there, you know what I'm saying? And,
for sure.
And I can't wait to see what else is going to come from the Titans of the MonsterVerse vinyl 35 centimeter line, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I have an answer to that when it comes to one of our questions later on. But yeah, Sandra wanted this because she loves Mothra, and orange is her favorite color. So she had to have it. Too. And so she, really, Gretchen? Good, Gretchen?
Yes.
You hear that, Sandra?
Orange is a great
color. Just saying.
Well, that's awesome.
I like this orangey yellow. Yeah. Orange.
Yeah, it works. So this is awesome. And last and certainly but not least, there's something else. I'm trying to figure out what is it. Like there was something else that we got recently. I can't put my finger on it. There it is. The Spiral Studios Ultimate Masterline Battle in Boston series of the deluxe version of the Burning Godzilla 2019 from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Basically, King Ghidorah's death sentence. That's what that is. Again, we have the deluxe version, with the wings and the base here, whatever. I'm calling this right now, figure of the year. I like, have fun topping this guy. And again, I know the MonsterVerse is an acquired taste. I know some people want it to go away. I understand that. But in terms of collectibles, in terms of burning Godzillas,
awesome. Yeah.
The light-up alone makes this above the rest. Oh my God. So, and I was personally done with Legendary. Like, when it comes to Legendary figures of himself, of Godzilla, I have in my collection. I'm pretty much done because I have pretty much all the X Plus. I have a couple Devil Reels, I have a couple 30s, I have the Gigantic. So I was kind of done with Legendary. I love the MonsterVerse, I enjoy it, but Legendary is a design where, I don't need too many representations of them. But when Sandra saw this, she was like, I don't care what you have to do. You're going to get that for me, or your life can be a living hell. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am.
That's
I'll
awesome.
cover that.
Awesome.
And thanks to AJ Russo and Ash from Star Wars Studios and Kaiju Live, we were able to get our hands on this. We did an actual stream about it last week, as a matter of fact. So please check it out, you know, and we get her take and her testimony on how she feels about that. You know, it was a fun stream, and she had fun doing it. And she, like, every single day, like, she just looks at it and just loves it and says, you know what, you're the best husband in the world. Because I am.
Aww.
But again, this thing is awesome. So if you got one, if you're on the fence about getting one, get off that fence. Go on Kaiju Live right now. Get, in my opinion, the 2023 figure of the year. That guy right there, the Burner Godzilla Deluxe 2019 from the awesome Spiral Studios. And I can't wait for GMK. I can't wait for GMK.
I know the GMK. Hey, my goodness.
Oh, yes. So that's pretty much it. But what myself and my beautiful wife Sandra got for ourselves. Again, thank you to the people that watched our stream. We really do appreciate it. Appreciate the love and all that good stuff. We are so thoroughly happy, and we can't wait to see y'all at G-Fest in a couple months.
That's right. That's right.
But without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to my main man up to Seattle, Washington, the one and the only, the awesome David F. Co. What's going on, David?
Hey, what's up, Leslie? What's up, everybody? So glad to be back here with my family, my Kaiju friends and family. And you know, it's interesting because I've sort of been slowing down when it comes to collectibles just because I really don't have any room. And there's not tons of things that are like, you know, urging me to buy them at this point, but I'm sure that's going to change really soon. And plus, I can just say I'm saving up for G-Fest too. You know, who knows what wonders we will see at G-Fest this year. But let me show you a few things. Two of the things that I got were actually gifts, which are pretty cool.
Cool.
First and foremost, I got this gift.
Oh, fantastic!
Nice.
From G Akamoto, courtesy of X Plus. This is one of their styrene model kits that G and I have this nostalgic love for the old 60s and 70s Aurora style model kits, or Aurora model kits. And this line is basically an homage to those. And actually, this artwork looks like it's the exact art that was on the Warren magazine, the famous monsters companion called Vampirella. And I'm going to be challenged to build this because I've never built like a female figure before that's in this state of undress. So it's going to be interesting to see how I do this guy. But thank you so much to the fine people at X Plus and to G. You're awesome, and I will definitely be sharing this when I build her. So the next thing I got is actually another gift, and this is from one of our producers, Mr. Jonathan Portman.
Oh,
and
awesome.
It is a Max toy Ultraman. And I'm not sure of the exact name of this one, but I do have the same one Gretchen has. I have the sort of the rainbow pride flag one too. And this is a great little addition to my Max toy collection.
Cool.
He's really great, and he's great to like hang out in your pocket and go on adventures.
They're the great size.
They're the great size, and I really love this line, and I hope that we see more and more of these. And I'm still holding out for that Shin Gomez that Max Toy.
Oh wow,
that's going to be.
I saw that too. Ooh, that looks cool.
I know. I'm holding my breath because I definitely think I need to own that one. I can fit that in any back there. So, but yeah, so that's number 2, and then number 3, which is the big one.
Bring it on.
Now, the fine people at Mondo sent me and us this figure so we can show it off on the show and do and our own version of Collect All Monsters reviews, which is still coming. We're still working on it, but I will show you a sneak peek of what I got. And Leslie sort of stole my thunder last week, but it is the Mondo
beautiful
Tokyo SOS
statue.
And it is, when I tell you this thing is amazing in person, it is really, really amazing. The other Mothra is not on there because I didn't want him to fall off the tail. It's one of the options. You can either have him on the tail or off the tail, but it's a beautiful figure. And I'm so grateful to the people at Mondo for sending this out. And we're going to do our own very special Collect All Monsters reviews, which we're still working on. and this will be the very first edition.
Literally
of that.
developing a review
right.
style, a unique review style specifically for this figure, so that we can use it in the future.
Said it better than I could. That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I can't wait to do it. So when Jonathan was here, he actually shot some footage of me opening it and assembling it. So we got a whole bunch of footage. Now I just have to sit down and talk about what I love about this figure. And there's a lot to love. And I'm going to put it down now because it's heavy as the day is long. So
I was going to ask, how much does it, like Leslie and you, like having those big figures, how much do those guys weigh? Like, I've only like looked at them.
What do you say, Les? Like at least 7 pounds, right? 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah, I got that one too. And that one, if you ask about both of us, I would say, yeah, that's like maybe 10, whatever, maybe 10, 15 pounds. That right there.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. When I went to the UPS store to get, because it came in 2 boxes. Mm-hmm. One box was actually bigger than the clerk that got them out the warehouse for me.
Oh, wow.
Around 60 pounds just for one box.
What?
Yes.
Holy smokes. I'm glad I asked this question. Jeez.
Yep, there it is. I can't even imagine the size of the box for that, because the size of the box for this Mondo statue is absolutely gigantic.
Yeah, it's resin. This is resin right here. Not to mention you got the wings and the base here. So yeah, that's why it came in 2 boxes, and like the shipping was like, it wasn't the best in the world. But just all I can say is, like, if you're gonna get this, especially the deluxe, have an extra pair of hands, because it took me like an hour to put it together, and I was so out of breath. Yeah, I mean, I thought the King Ghidorah was horrendous to put together, and it kind of was to a certain extent, but this one was even more horrendous. But once you get together, it's it's beautiful. But yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot. So.
Wow.
Sorry, David. David. I didn't mean to see your thunder.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt y'all's thing.
Monsterverse stealing my thunder again.
I'm sorry.
We're talking about Mondo, not that thing, but
the Mondoverse.
Yes, we're talking about Mondo. I'm not sure what that was. Was that a boo or a yay?
Those are alarming, by the way.
It was
I'm so not used to them.
However, this figure is amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to see the fine details of it. And everybody's having too much fun with this Mondo statue, so let's just move on to John. Go ahead, John. What you got?
Hey, thanks,
here we go.
Hey, hold on, Leslie.
I'm gonna kick back and relax on this one.
Yeah, well, I didn't get anything this month. Psych. But welcome to the show. Gretchen.
In 2 more episodes, he's going to do a not joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try to be quick and efficient, but I got a few things I'd like to share. But thanks for watching, and I got some practical stuff that you might find, if you don't have, you might be interested in. The first item is this big old B2 portfolio poster holder. And what's great, if you have, and many of you do have a great Godzilla poster collections, you can stow them, safely, if you can see, right inside the portfolio. And you can get them in different sizes off of...
Oh, I got to get one of those.
Off of Amazon Japan, and very cheap, very inexpensive, and they're wonderful. You can load them up, and do your thing. I think it was only... maybe $35 or something, $20, very cheap.
I would suggest you post a link to that in the Facebook group after the show's done.
I will definitely do that.
That's a great idea. I mean, the poster portfolio is a great idea.
It is. And they were out of stock for a very long time. So when they popped up, and there are others like that, so you can stow 20 or 40, depending on the size you need. But they're great. With that said, let me just share a few things. If you're in the Northeast and you're in the Philadelphia, New York, Jersey area, there are some amazing collectible stores that I've been stumbling across with my friends. There's one called Hidden Treasures. Not far from Mitsuwa, Kinokuniya, Edgewater, New Jersey. And
that place.
I've never been in a bigger, more impressive. House of Fun is awesome, and right across the bridge here from Philly. But wow, Hidden Treasures. I was like, are you kidding me? I'd have to go to Japan to get this type of experience. But it was fantastic. So I'll put some links maybe to that shop as well. Okay, real quick, let me share a few things that I thought that I picked up that might be noteworthy. I went to a show called Woodbridge where vampire robots, and so I saw Mike and I saw Tom there and picked up a few things from them. Got King Kong versus Godzilla VHS tape for $10. Can't beat that. Got an old classic Showa Godzilla book, cards and booklet. I love the old stuff. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Inexpensive. Not too bad. A friend that got gifted Shin Ultraman on Blu-ray.
Ooh, super jealous.
Yeah. Gotta have
the Japanese release.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And I
July 11th here in America, by the way, for that.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Coming
People
soon.
didn't know.
Coming soon.
Little cast, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Easter Island.
That's what Kyle was talking about, the Easter Island statue.
Yes.
Pretty good. That's
I had no idea that I was stealing that thunder, John. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You talked it up, and it's awesome. Let me see. When I went to Hidden Treasures, picked up SHMA, which I don't usually purchase, but
wow,
Godzilla '89, pretty good deal. Okay, and let's see. From the show, I've never had a Godzilla tin, but picked up one finally for the collection.
That one.
Awesome.
Love that one.
To add
is that the brown? Is that the brown one, John?
That's the brown one.
That's the one I have. Yep,
the brown one. Okay, I think that's the main stuff. Just the little stuff to get out of the way. Okay.
Leslie, he's almost done.
Okay, now when I was growing up, all right. Hold on, a couple more little things. If you're collecting, keep on collecting the Toho Godzilla Tokusatsu Moke books. They're just rolling them out, and if you have a Kinokuniya that you order from, they're getting them. They're like $7-8 on Amazon Japan, but they have them at Kinokuniya surprisingly pretty cheap for like $11.
Okay.
So, and watch this. They slash some of their X Plus prices at Mitsuwa Edgewater Kinokuniya. They have a MonsterVerse Rodan that used to be about $400. They right now have it for $130. So if someone's looking for a cool X Plus Rodan MonsterVerse, you should check for $130. I thought that was pretty darn good. So that's out there. When I was growing up, this was one of my first Japanese Godzilla books. Monsters catalog in 3D.
I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. It really came out in '84, and like all the stuff I ever wanted was right back here, Bandai. Like now I can look at it. I finally got everything that I wanted from this. But there were items that it introduced that I didn't really know what they were. All these wonderful, original, groundbreaking garage kits.
Yep.
And in particular, there are the garage kits that started to show Godzilla in his different suit variations.
I used to love
the
these
Godzilla
books.
suit variations,
Yep.
GSV. Trying to get the page to show you. So I always wanted them. But
I remember that book. I totally remember that book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was the Godzilla I wanted, the 74, 75, or the Mosu Goji. I mean, just like would die for it. So I decided, since I was going to start buying some garage kits just to build up a historical record, I was able to find a couple of these old Kyoto kits. So I got the Mosu Goji old Kyoto kit.
Oh my man, those are from the olden days of Kyoto.
Yes.
Are they resin? They're resin, right?
They're resin.
Yeah, baby. Oh my god.
I got the King Goji and the Mosu Goji.
My worst resin experience building was that Kyoto Manda from '84, just in that same style box.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best luck, my friend.
Oh, I'm not putting them together.
Oh,
no.
right. This is just for archival purposes.
Oh yes. I'm like always wanted them.
Those are cool. I've never seen them before. That
Yes.
64, I have the 64 in the vinyl form. They redid them in vinyl eventually, but that's the original resin with all the crisp
Resin.
detail. And the one who's kind of looking up like this, right?
Yes. Actually,
maybe I don't know which one that is, but I used to love those books.
Yes.
too.
Oh yeah, yes. This
Back
is
in the
like
day when there was
Bible
nothing,
for me.
that's the only way you could see these things.
Absolutely.
Long before the internet. Long
Pre-internet.
So it's
Yeah.
this one here on my other hand right here. So I got these two together. The King Goji.
Oh no, I don't have. That's even older than the one I was talking about. Wow.
Yeah, 83,
Whoa.
84 when Garage
Okay.
Kids, Godzilla Garage Kids were starting to take off. And lastly, this is my pride and joy. I was able to get some Godzilla skin. I was able to get Godzilla claw, and I finally, got a cool Godzilla dorsal fin. I'm so happy.
Wow.
They made 35 of these for the Awaji, their store, and I was able to find one for really cheap.
Nice.
Without the extra add-ons, because it came with some tickets and a framed kind of things, and it was way out of my. I'm not going to pay for that. So someone was selling it for like really, half the price.
That's freaking cool.
Yes. So I feel happy to get a dorsal fin.
It's a perfect example of something that I really want, but I'm not going to get one of those right now.
Yeah. You'll be able to find, in Japan. It'll be great on the mantelpiece. Wherever you want it, when you get one, Kyle. But I couldn't walk away from it. I was surprised to have found to come across. But that's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's it.
That's great. That's a great haul. That's
fantastic haul.
Dorsal plate is something you'd see at like the Subaraya Museum.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have that. That's super cool. I love that. That's my favorite thing you got.
And it's the King Good. It's like
91?
from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah because it has the gold
Nice.
glitter when he blows his neck.
That's so cool. So is that produced by Dream Planet or somebody else?
This was in conjunction with Toho Visual Studio, I believe it is, and they made others from a previous time. And
is there an additional trademark on the base, or is it just Toho?
No, it's just Toho.
Okay,
just Toho.
Awesome, dude.
And
I agree.
It's really interesting. I think I found the source. They at one time were selling these at, I don't know if it was at the Tokyo National Museum. Back in, it might have been 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it looks exactly like the one they were selling there, but they may have had some left over, and they did the glitter or something. But they said they were overlooked by Toho themselves. They go through all the details of how it came about. But yeah, I got
awesome.
it really cheap.
Wow.
That's yeah.
Sorry, my
Jealous,
cat
dude.
is old and senile and might be meowing throughout this entire thing.
All right.
He's 18 and he's just like, he's decided that anytime that I'm in the kitchen, or because my desk is in the kitchen area, he's like, this is the time to eat dinner.
Welcome to the show.
Live stream dinners.
Sir.
All right. So I'm going to make this, once again, just like last time, I'm going to make this super fast because I technically kind of am on the old buy-atus, so I don't buy stuff because as Leslie's laughing, but I guess I could say I got one thing for sure. I got a plane ticket to Chicago so I could go to G-Fest. And that might not be a big deal to you guys, but this is actually a big deal.
It is!
This is a big deal to me. This year's G-Fest is a big deal, so I kind of want to talk about it for a second, if and you don't mind. Because this is going to be the last G-Fest that I'm going to be able to go to while I'm still living in America. And I hope I can go to G-Fests in the future, but if you guys aren't aware, a ticket from Tokyo to Chicago in the summertime is like $2,000. As opposed to being like $400 to $500, which is like what I'm used to paying here in America. But I'm just gonna gloss over any of the negative stuff that people have been saying about G-Fest. I'm gonna say I am excited for G-Fest because I really miss hanging out with my kaiju friends. I got the pleasure of hanging out with 6 other kaiju fans in Japan like a few months ago, and that was my first ability to like hang out with some like Gretchen and I have hung out in person. That's about it. Like, I haven't been able to like spend much time with any of my kaiju my peeps. So this is going to be really it's going to be a really great time in as far as I'm concerned, because while I will of course offer my moderation services to the G-Fest panels if they want the guests interviewed by a I don't know,
yes sir,
old school podcaster, then I'm down for it. But if they've got it covered, then essentially this is going to be kind of a hangout G-Fest, which I haven't been able to do for a really long time. I see some stuff in the chat. Liam Foley, thank you, Jonathan, is asking if we're going to do a live stream from G-Fest. And I can tell you right now, we're going to try to do a live stream from G-Fest, but the show format is not the same. Like, we're not going to have the same kind of show that we do for our panel. But our panel has been approved. It's been scheduled unless something else bumps that schedule for some reason. And we don't have a table like we did in 2019 when Gretchen and I were sitting there selling shirts.
That was fun.
We are going to take over Dave Nunez G-Fans Helping G-Fans table on Sunday, because basically Saturday night he runs that event, and then he doesn't need his table for Sunday, so he's going to let us have the table. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to set up a backdrop so you can come by the Collect All Monsters table on Sunday and show off, take pictures with us if you want to, but more importantly, I think we're going to shoot videos while we're there, and you can come up and show us what you got at the show. It'll be like your very own show and tell video, and we'll compile it all into one big thing and throw it up on the YouTube channel. So it's not going to be this July episode situation is going to be interesting. We're going to figure it out. And I don't know, people say good things about the hotel, which is great, but I see, hey, Andy, actually, hang on a second. What, bam, this is Andy. No, that's Andy. Stop it, Jonathan. There you go. This is Andy. Sorry, buddy. Andy is the guy that does the AV at the show every year. So, Andy, thanks for watching today, dude. How's it going? And I will say, I would love to get together with you a little bit ahead of time and see, maybe not live streaming from the event, but maybe some other thing we can do. Because I'd like to make it a little more. I'd like to make our panel a little more interactive and a little more fun, maybe like a talk show kind of thing. Get some of the people that are maybe at G-Fest. Like, we had the Nishimuras join us for the last live Collect All Monsters, the very first live Collect All Monsters event. So who knows?
Are you gonna bust out the jacket, Kyle?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's your last
it depends.
time.
I've still got it. I could bring it.
You guys know about his coat? He has like
don't spoil it. Anyway, the deal is we're going to have a panel. I want the panel to be awesome and fun, but it probably is not going to be live streamed. If anything, we'll record it, grab the video from it, and then slap the Showa and Tell stuff from the convention on to the end of it.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
The episode. Mm-hmm. I don't know. We're it's like May, so we don't have that much time, just a couple of months. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited that I'm getting to go this year. I was full of the FOMO last year as I got to see all of our friends hanging out. Speaking of Gamera, that's a good point. The other thing that we need to figure out as the Collect All Monsters collective is how are we going to do another Kaiju Cast party / Collect All Monsters party, because I don't want that to not happen if I'm at a G-Fest, right? Like, that's just got to happen. So we'll figure that out on our own.
The patio ain't that big.
The patio. Yeah, I hear that. I hear the patio's not that big. Also, I kind of did the Google Street View drive around the hotel, and there's not a lot of stuff around the hotel to have access to. So we'll figure it out. Maybe somebody from the Hyatt is watching and they'll take pity on us and they'll be like, oh, nobody ever uses Ballroom K. Why don't you guys use Ballroom K? Yes,
No.
and yes, Yumiko Shaku's coming this year. That's huge news.
No, we're going to the
Big
south
news.
side. We're going to the south side of Chicago. We're gonna give
we
y'all
are? Okay.
yeah, we're gonna
Are we
give y'all
bringing her?
we're gonna give y'all an urban. We're gonna give y'all an urban experience. We're gonna give y'all. We're gonna take. You might see a liquor. You might see a liquor store, a gun store, and all the good stuff. But we're gonna show you the fine points of Chicago. We're gonna have a good old time.
Anyway, we're gonna basically we are putting something cool together for G Fest. I'm real excited to see my friends again. I'm excited to meet people we haven't been able to meet yet.
Totally.
Peter, what's up, dude? How's it going, man?
What's up, Peter?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. If you're going to G Fest, you're watching right now, just throw a yes, I'll be there in the chat. I literally would love to see as many of our viewers as we can. And again, that's why I try and do those Kaiju Cast parties, usually Saturday night. Just saying, if there's a venue that wants to open up and say, hey, party here, that'd be cool. But we actually, you know what? I got to talk with Pete. He's the guy that usually...
Nice.
Will you be there, Leslie?
I'm going to try to.
Yes. Yeah, anyway, Pete Quint, who runs 50 Foot Brewing, is the guy who normally brews the beer for our event. And I got to get with him and see what he's doing. Because last I heard, he wasn't going to be there. But hopefully he's changed his mind and he is brewing some deliciousness up. Because, man, that Red King Ale was just something else. So
that was good.
Yeah, we had a Red King Ale, a Daimajin Daiweizen, and
it was a King Kong something or other.
There was a
I didn't get to try the King Kong. Oh wait, yeah.
There was a Soma cider. Soma cider.
Soma cider. I did try that one. I tried that one.
I made the labels for them all, and the Kong one, it was like him drinking the berry juice, and it said it had a banner underneath that said, "I'll tell you when I've had enough."
Yes, so good. I wish I kept the ding ding.
We're going to get wasted. We're going to get so wasted.
I'm not going to be there this year.
The last time, that's unfortunate, Gretchen. The last time we had the party, though, we had a game, right, where we had the forehead paper game.
Oh, right.
Yes.
David remembers that.
Yeah. I'm not very good at that game.
Yeah, who cares?
I remember people had a good time.
It was fun.
That was better than when we did the trivia. The live trivia was like terrible.
Yeah, let's that the card game is fun if we do revisit that because that.
Yeah, we might revisit the card game. We'll see. I mean, we got to find a place where we can actually have the party. Oh, nice, Adam. So Adam's creating a specific drink for G Fest. You should just create a specific Collect All Monsters drink. Just saying, for the
no pressure
for the party. Anyway, I don't need to go too far into this, but please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I never say that during the episode, and this little GIF that's popped up has reminded me to do so. If you like the video, that's good for us on YouTube. If you subscribe, then you obviously get our content in your feed whenever we have it. And we have been doing more than just the monthly show here on YouTube, so that's definitely something you should be doing. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and move along to our news, right? Make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the chat room check-in. That's what we got to do.
Okay.
So, you ready, Leslie, or how's that going? I know Jonathan was having some trouble keeping up last time. I'm keeping my fingers off of the StreamYard UI, so I don't want to double click on anybody.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for 48 people watching live.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
Right,
that's good.
Yeah.
Let's reach 50. Let's get 50.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, my beautiful wife Sandra, what's up, babe? Kaiju Battle, Nathaniel Plummer, Oscar Solis, Godzilla Train 1090, Johnny Coke, Michael Hamilton, Thirsty Thursday Toys, of course, Larry Latham, Fanciest of Cats, Liam Foley, Greg Coggin, Knights of Old. Let's see, Alex Sawyer. He announced that he's going to G-Fest official earlier on Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors. Eric Stope. Jordan Leitner, let's see, Gojira Fan 1991, let's see, Varzilla 1, Gojira 851, let's see, who else? Andre Steele, I think that you said it was Andy, right? Kyle?
Oh yeah, Andy from G-Fest, yep.
Okay. Attack Peter. What's up? What's up, Peter? Robert Dwyer. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for everybody for being here. Oh, Kyle, you know what? You made a boo-boo. You made a boo-boo.
I'm sure I did. What did I do?
You claimed that that's pretty much all you got for yourself, the plane ticket to Chicago. But I have a special announcement. It comes out of nowhere, but I want you to have this, okay? But you do got something to show and tell, okay? Now, I mentioned that, Spyware Studios is bringing us a gigantic size GMK Godzilla statue or figure. And it's going to be the suit accurate one with the dad bod, right? And, me and Sandra, we're huge GMK fans, just like Kyle. Like, we love GMK in this household. And we got so many GMK figures. And again, I'm getting low on space, so I don't mind letting one go to you. And it's the one that you said you were going to get a long time ago and you passed on it. But now it is finally yours, free of charge. And I'm talking about the original X Plus Gigantic Series GMK Godzilla. This is yours.
Man.
Wow.
This is yours.
Oh my God.
What?
Yes, this is yours.
Man.
That is awesome.
This is yours.
I can't accept saying no to that. So thank you. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly.
It's in great condition, and
the other
again,
day had one for sale, and I remember saying to myself, "God, that is a reasonable price." But thank you very much, dude.
Cause you were the first, when they kickstarted the Gigantic series. 10 years this year, this year marks the 10-year anniversary of the Gigantic series, and you were there with G and Matsubura-san, and you had all the figures in front of you, and they just unveiled the gigantic GMK, and you held it, and all of us were going crazy back then. And I asked you, I was like, "Did you get it?" You was like, "No, unfortunately." But you know what? It's in this hobby. It's not about if you get something. It's about when you get something. I will send this off to you free of charge. This is my personal gift to you, from one GMK fan to another, because I love you so much. He is finally yours. He is finally yours. Okay.
Well, you're ridiculous, and I wasn't expecting that. And I applaud as well as the sound effects. Thank you, man. Wow.
You see, people, I'm not evil after all. I'm not really evil after all. Yes, they do. But you know what? They're right, because I am evil.
I don't.
I own it. I am evil to certain people. I mean, I love mostly everybody, but there are some people that I would wish just jump into a dumpster fire, never to return, and I own that. But if I care for you, if you down for me, I'm gonna be down for you. And Kyle has always been down for me since day one. So that's the least I could do for him. So
thank you, buddy.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Also, I got called out in the chat. I gotta admit I was at fault. Greg Coggin and I have actually hung out a few times.
Oh, that's
going
right.
to get beers Greg, just like us, is very COVID conscious, and so every time we were going out, it was to a place that was outdoors. They were we were masked up when we got there. I appreciate that, Greg. Thank you. I didn't mean to forget you and John Morrill, who we went out with that one time. So, yes, but still, the G-Fest, the excitement for hanging out with the people, that's what it's all about. You're welcome, Andy. And I think that is a perfect opportunity for us to move into our news.
United Nations reporter Eric Carter with the news.
All right, so if you guys are unaware, we just were talking about G-Fest, which is the sort of annual event that happens in Chicago. It's a Godzilla convention or a Kaiju themed convention. You should know about it if you watch us. But if you're unaware, that's what we're talking about. This year, however, G-Fest is not the only game in town, and we have a very special report from a very good friend of ours. We are going to be talking in just a second with, hang on a second. Wait a minute. I did this wrong. Where is my thing with him? Actually, you guys, I'm going to save this for the end. Sorry, Michael, because it's not where I thought it was, unless it's right here. Oh, there it is. All right. So we have a very special report from a very good friend of ours. If you're unfamiliar with the magazine Kaiju Ramen, it is basically another magazine that's been created by Kaiju fans for Kaiju fans, and they crowdsource a lot of their publication, but they also source a lot of their articles from Godzilla fans like you and me and other people that are in the fandom. Great Kaiju magazine, definitely something to check out. And Michael Hamilton, who's our good friend, is joining us here to talk about All Monsters Attack and his experience there with the special report. Take it away, Michael.
Hello, Collect All Monsters crew. Thank you, Kyle, for that very kind intro. It's good to be back with you guys again. I wanted to just come on and talk about my experience with All Monsters Attack. So this past weekend, it was May 5th through the 7th, the crew at Kaiju Ramen did our first tabling event at All Monsters Attack in Chicago, Illinois, and it was a ton of fun. It was my first time tabling an event like that. And I think it was except for, I believe, one member of our crew, it was all of our first times tabling an event. And honestly, it was awesome. I think what made this event so special for us is the being able to see a lot of our friends that we have never got to meet in person, finally in person. And I got to catch up with some really good friends of mine at All Monsters Attack. So we have a picture here of all of the Kaiju Ramen media crew. You've got my partner in crime, Travis, who helped me start the magazine, my friend Nathan in the goofy hat. You've got Mr. Danny Damana there. You've got Brendan Morley of Autistic Lizard Productions, Robert Montserrat, awesome artist. You've got Elijah Thomas, fantastic filmmaker, and then myself, all acting goofy at our table. But it was such a fun experience, and what made it super special again is I get to see some old friends like Adam here with his Gorgo plushie that I kind of told a friend of ours, Eric Stolp, that he got the last one of, try to make him really jealous, but that was a total lie. Sorry, Eric. But I got to catch up with him. Nathan and I got to meet one of our heroes, Mr. Jason Font of Power Rangers fame. If you're into Super Sentai and Power Rangers, we got to spend some time with him. He was an awesome guest. And then the piece de resistance, of course, is to getting to meet all the Japanese guests. So here's me with Ben Furuya-san. Fantastic individual, such a gentleman. We were all talking about him and his appearance. He was at Indianapolis last year, and we were all talking about how he was kind of this con's Takarada, which I know are some huge shoes to fill. But Furuya-san was a fantastic guest to have, and we had a lot of fun with him. And then here's all of us together with Furuya-san. And what's really funny about this picture is what you're not seeing here is Furuya is very particular about the ultra pose. So he was going down. He had us all stand in line together in kind of unison, and he was going around to us and adjusting our hands. I think I'm doing it right. Yeah, adjusting our hands, and he would give us a nod of it's perfect, or he would position our hands just right because he wanted the ultra pose to be as good as it can be. So that experience was a lot of fun. Ria, Ota, and me. She's such a cute woman. I loved interacting with her, and she seemed to be very just happy to be there with all the guests in Chicago. And she was such a sweet woman. There's me with her, and I bought some art from our friend Bob Eggleton because I'm very nostalgic for Bob's art, of course, like a lot of us are. And she signed that for me, and it was just such a really pleasant interaction between me and her. And then there's me with Masaki Daimon. So this was kind of a cool interaction between him and I. I walked up to his table and presented him with a copy of our magazine, issue 8, which is all about the actors within kaiju film, and using his interpreter. Of course, we had a very pleasant conversation. He's a really funny guy. There's a really funny story that a really funny interaction between him and the Kaiju Ramen crew in the elevator that I won't go into here, but he's just such a jovial guy to interact with. There's him signing my photo for me, and we're just kind of having a conversation, at least trying to have a conversation back and forth. But he was just such a class act as well. So I wanted to mention something about All Monsters Attack that made this one particularly special. The artists for this were all fantastic. This is a group shot of all the artists, some podcasters, some people that you guys may recognize. There's Kyle and Rob of Tokyo Lives, Lisa Knapziger, Mr. Matt Frank, of course, Tanner Wright, and some others. We all just had a great time together. This is the last photo, or one of the last photos we all took together, because we wanted to celebrate what a success it was for the artists at All Monsters Attack. From what I understand, the artists even had a better weekend than the toy vendors, which I thought that would be in reverse.
Great.
So I walked around, Travis and I walked around. We talked to a bunch of the artists there at AMA, and we wanted to check in on them, see how they were doing, because a lot of them are friends. And they said that they had such a fantastic weekend. That weekend they sold a lot of product, which is great. I wish that other cons would help them out that way as well, but we won't get into that, will we? AMA was such a fantastic experience. Like I said, it was my first time tabling a con, and we had such a good time with everybody. And I wish that I had more time to share all the fun experiences that I had there at All Monsters Attack, but I'll leave you here. I'll leave it here for now, but if you look on Collect All Monsters Facebook group, I shared a really, really endearing story between me and Tom Kitagawa about a really pleasant interaction him and I had while I was there. So, thank you, Kyle and the crew from Collect All Monsters, for letting me come on and talk about our experience at All Monsters Attack. So, take care, everybody.
Well, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that very much.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
All Monsters Attack. We're not going to talk too much about it, but obviously there's another convention that popped up. They had one last year in Indianapolis, and then this year they moved it to Chicago. And wow, what an incredible lineup of guests! I will say, if you are interested in the All Monsters Attack convention format, then you might want to pay attention to their Facebook page, because they're doing something later on this year in California as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Closer to us.
Very cool.
That's right.
Very closer, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move along. That was sort of like our first news report. And actually, Leslie, I was going to give you the floor next. Let me get your images ready, sir.
Aren't you happy, John, that it's coming? Aren't you happy that it's finally coming, Johnny? Aren't you happy?
Absolutely, Leslie. Yes, yes, yes. To steal your words, for sure. Can't wait. Bring it
All
on.
right. It is finally coming. Finally, it's not a death for real. It's not an obscure collectible. We're finally getting an official 1974 Godzilla based off his super cool appearance in 1974's Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Of course, this is from the X Plus Favorite Sculptors line that is coming. It's based off, again, Monster Maker 28. It's a Monster Maker 28 sculpts, you know.
Gorgeous sculpt.
It's a gorgeous sculpt. Yeah, you know, S Plus has had its history with Monster Maker 28 sculpts like the GMK Godzilla, Baragon, Mothra, King Ghidorah, the 68 Godzilla, the 68 Anguirus, all 30 centimeter between Godzilla and Anguirus, I should say. Gorosaurus, there was a Monster Maker 28 sculpt. And now we got another one, you know, to go along with the Favorite Sculptors line, Mechagodzilla 74. Again, another Monster Maker 28 sculpt. Don't want to say too much more about it because it's all that we know about it, quite frankly. Just a prototype that we saw at Super Festival last month, unpainted. So I can't wait to see what this guy's going to look like painted. I would assume that because it's coming from a model kit and nothing extra came with the model kit, more likely the rig option is going to be probably light up. It's probably going to be a light up dorsal plates. As long as they light up blue, because that's how they were in the film, not white.
Yeah.
No, they're like, if you're going to get the dorsal plates right, get it right on this one. This is one Godzilla design that John, me, and a whole bunch of people have been asking for them to do, and now they finally do it. And now they're finally doing it. So again, S Plus, if you're watching, blue dorsal plates, like, it's not that hard. Just do it. But I think this is going to be a major seller I would expect probably pre-orders to happen probably sometime during the summer, maybe, because they just announced it last month. So I would assume they're probably going to have this out before the year is out. But again, seeing this guy going up against Mecha Godzilla, oh my God! And again, the film celebrates 50 years next year. Like, the timing could not be more perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to talk about in my news segment. The favorite sculptors line, 1974 Godzilla, courtesy of X Plus. Can't wait to get it. I mean, I got the original kit, but I'm definitely going to get that one because I'm a huge, like John, I'm a huge 74 fan.
74.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So, David, what you want to talk about in your news segment, buddy?
Well, first of all, I am going to get that 74 because I don't have the kit, and I never got the kit, and I'm stoked because now I'll get to have it, and it's pretty cool. A little bit of news that I wanted to say before. I also got my ticket to G-Fest. I'm very, very, very excited to go. And when you guys were talking about, well, Kyle was talking about specifically not seeing too many G fans over the last 3 years, I actually got to see quite a few because quite a few passed through Seattle, and like one at a time, not a big group or anything, but it is always great to be around like-minded people, and that's why G-Fest is so special. Forget the panels, forget the toys, forget the autographs. It's just great to be around all of the people that we talk to almost on a weekly basis on the internet, some people on a daily basis. And I'm really, really excited to get to meet some of you guys in person who I haven't met in person. And it's just going to be a good year. It's going to be a reunion year. It's going to be wonderful regardless of whatever happens, because we're just going to make it that way. We're going to make it fun. Yeah. And as Kyle said, we're going to have a really, really fun panel. We haven't really decided what that's going to be yet, but it's going to be awesome. And I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who watched our awesome Mothra vs. Godzilla deep dive that we did. Leslie, Jonathan, and I, that was a lot of fun. We talked about a lot of stuff, and you know, we definitely went there with this movie. Like we touched on like every aspect of this film. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, you can always check it out on our YouTube channel. And it was a lot of fun. And thank you, Kyle, for producing that. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, so let's just jump into my news item. Now, I'm going to also dive into X Plus this time, and X Plus is releasing their very second gigantic Baltan Sajin figure. Now, this time, it's for the favorite sculptor line, and it's an absolutely incredible sculpt. It looks exactly like the actual suit. Now, Kyle, I sent you a few images, I think.
So basically, I just wait. Am I muted? Yeah. So basically, I just wanted to say I started with the Super Festival stuff, and then the production ones are right after that.
Perfect. Yeah. It looks just like the suit, and there's a movie still that I included in one of my images that you can see that this particular figure, it's just amazing. It's based on a garage kit by sculptor Keiki Fujimoto, and there it is right there, and it looks like it just stepped right off of the TV screen.
Amazing.
And it's 45 centimeters tall. It comes with a logo base, and the standard is going to be 27,500 yen, which is about $202 in US, which is not bad for a gigantic figure.
Not at all.
It really is not that bad. And there's going to be also a Rick light up. And the light up version is his eyes are going to be illuminated. Awesome. And that version is going to go for 28,600 yen, which is about $210. So, you know, these things are really getting they're very tempting because the yen is so weak against the dollar these days.
Yes,
these days.
Exactly.
And the good thing about this particular gigantic, when you have a collection like mine where space is definitely a commodity, he doesn't have a tail. He can just squeeze in somewhere. Like I can stick him in between somewhere. A very small footprint. He's tall, but he's thin. So I'm going to be hard pressed to pass on this particular one when it comes out. Pre-orders are open now for a July 2023 release. So just a couple months. So probably right around G-Fest time. Probably after G-Fest, but it'll be a nice thing to come home to when we're sad that we have to leave G-Fest. Now, John, are you going to G-Fest this year? You're the only one that hasn't really said. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm working on it. I'm working
on it. I'll take it. I'll take it because we need to do at least 1 year where all of the co-hosts are together.
Yeah, true that.
Oh, yes, Helmy, that is going to be gigantic. It is. the gigantic number 2. Yeah, go ahead.
What would be great to happen at G-Fest if they dropped the trailer for the new movie?
Oh, my God.
Or some type of preview or something.
Worth the price of admission. 100%, absolutely. Yeah. I
see that again.
I was wondering, like, when we're going to get a little bit more info on that, because it seems like nothing is really coming. Like, I've been watching your Twitter feed because you take all the good stuff and put it on yours, so I don't even bother with anybody else. I just watch John's Twitter, and but definitely looking forward to that. If that does happen, that would be fantastic.
It would be.
And here's my 25 centimeter Bolton.
Oh,
it kind of looks like this.
Amazing.
And
I can just hear the Bolton.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get him. I have the gigantic Ultraman, so I have to have at least one alien opponent to go with him. So that's pretty much all I got for my news. John, what you got in the news today?
Well, that was great news. I have simple news because I love paper products and books and stuff. So this one is really cool. I was excited when I saw it because I try to add certain things to my collection. And the paper, these are new Godzilla trading cards called Minko cards. And I didn't know much about Minko cards, but they come in 2 different varieties, 2 different sets. In a more inexpensive set, an incomplete box that's about I think around $30, and then the complete set I think is around 200 yen. But here's the thing: there's all great trading cards. Look at a great shot. Look at that shot of 74.
Wow, they look like Polaroids.
Yeah, they do exactly. Now I didn't know much about these cards, but let me say there is a Japanese card game, 2 players. 2 or more players, and the cards are kind of made from thick cardboard, or and you basically throw the card down. I think one person puts the card down, and then the other challenges them, and they can throw the card at the card that's below and strike it, and
Uno.
And end up if you defeat them, you get to take the person's card.
Crazy Eights.
Yes. So
I've seen this something kind of like this.
You get to assemble the cards, but see, for me, you can display them. Great, unique shots of Godzilla. It's just pretty dope for a cheap price, a relatively good price. You can get them on the Godzilla store, and with the Buy Connect. I already have them in my shopping cart.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I know you do.
And if you don't get it when the getting's good, especially with the cards, they can jump up in value. The older
secondary
collector
market,
cards, so get them while you can get them. And get them cheap. So I thought that was a cool item.
That's very cool.
And
unique.
Yes, and keep on the lookout for the next issues. I think Godzilla vs. Biollante. There's one that's out now, but it's not Godzilla focused. But Godzilla vs. Biollante is coming up real soon.
I haven't seen any of those yet. Are they like thick magazines? Are they thin? Or I don't know.
They're not real thick, but they're loaded with great photos and information.
I'm going to Kinokuniya this week.
Oh, yeah, for $11 each.
Shoot. Wow.
Oh, they're wonderful. And
look at that. Okay.
A notebook that you can get to hold them all in or stow them. So it's worth. I won't get them all, but I will get everyone that has Godzilla. Because they go.
Oh, you're going to get them all. You're going to get them all.
I know.
Don't play.
Let's be real.
Let's be real.
It's okay, John.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
It's okay to be a completionist.
I try not to, Gretchen. I try not to. Only in certain things. And once you get going, it's hard to, you get close and you're like, let me just get these other ones.
Oh, I get it.
And they're inexpensive, especially if you want to start collecting Japanese Godzilla books here in general and get them. These are really nice. I mean, again, the layouts are great.
Photographs look great.
Very impressive.
Outstanding.
And that's my simple news. There's other things to talk about, but that's the simple, easy news here. Kyle, back to you.
Well, actually, before we bounce it to me, it's time for Gretchen's news item.
Oh, poor Gretchen.
We made our special co-host.
I'm sorry.
Come up with her own item for news this year, or this episode.
This year.
This year. Well, I mean, you can come back on next year too, right?
Maybe. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
It's a date.
So this guy is, I don't know if you guys remember from the Super Safubi show, Video Vomit, John, I can't remember his last name.
Dooley.
John Dooley.
John Dooley.
Thank you. He did a cute a bunch of collection of things, and like he did the Hausu cat, and he did the baby from Eraserhead. But,
oh right. Oh yeah, no.
But I love Hausu. I collect a lot of like Hausu and Familia
I like that
sorts,
one.
and like they're amazing. So originally, this guy was his first release of him. He's like a little short red guy,
Awesome.
kind of
like
the
House.
angry.
That looks like the house. Logo.
Yeah, Hausu.
That's what we're
his
talking
name.
about, David.
Oh.
David.
Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't tell what it looked like. Oh, sorry.
It's
All right,
Hausu.
Well, now I see it's Hausu. That doesn't look like Hausu.
He
Looks
just
like Scary
released
Mineko.
this marbled collection of like colorways, and they just got dropped on Friday. So
very cool.
if you're into this kind of type of like collectible, you get them while you can, because they go really fast. This guy was gone.
There it is.
quick.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was in a white colorway too, but I only was able to grab the red.
Oh, I like the red.
Yeah, it's kind of fierce.
That's
yeah.
That's what
Right?
That's the one. Yep. If you just
So
showed
good.
that one
Probably
first,
should have
I'd
led
known.
with that image.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one
My
year
bad.
Halloween
Sorry,
during
everybody.
the pandemic, I decided to dress up as the aunt from that. I don't know if you ever on my
yes.
Instagrams, but I had bleach blonde hair at the time, and so I dressed up as the aunt from the movie. And Kyle and his wife Kyle, they helped orchestrate this by like Kyle dressed up in a black outfit and was like making a skeleton move off to the side in the video, and it was we went all out for Halloween.
Awesome.
But
You
yeah,
don't
that's
go all
my
out for
news.
Halloween. What's wrong, right?
Right.
All right. So thank you,
Yeah.
Gretchen.
Yeah.
Now, I did select a very choice news item for myself. And of course, I don't have the images open yet, so I just got to do that super fast. Let's see if did these all open correctly in the same guy here.
Oh, I forgot to mention Bad Omen Toys, you guys. That's where you can get that.
Oh, Bad Omen Toys. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
my
you very
bad.
much.
Bad Omen.
Okay.
You remembered.
All right. So for my news item, it's a double. It's a twofer, as you say. So at the end of last month and through the halfway of this month, only 2 more days left in this event, there is another Parco Godzilla art event. Now, this one is very different from other ones we've seen. Actually, if you're unfamiliar with these, Parco is a department store in Japan. They have many, many stores all over Japan, but their big ones in Tokyo often do these collabs, as department stores are wont to do in Japan. This Godzilla the Art event does not have the illustrators angle that we've seen in years prior, where it's been like Yuji Kaida, Noriyoshi Orai, and Shinji Nishikawa. This specific event is showcasing the art of Isamu Gakiya and No Sango, who is a Korean. The second one there is a Korean artist. And this is being held at the brand new Shibuya Parco building, which I went to on the last trip. Very, very cool building. Just going to say, for anybody who is on that trip and is watching live, this here, if you can see the mouse moving up, this is the stairway that we took to get to the rooftop bar that's up there. So really, really cool building. And inside they have like really like a floor dedicated to like nerdy shops, like Super Mario, Nintendo's shop and the Capcom shop and stuff like that. It's a really beautiful building. Anyway, they have this collaboration happening for this art installation. I'm not going to read that out loud. That's dumb. But Godzilla the Art is featuring not just the art of those 2 artists, which we'll show in a second, but also they're going to have this. They do have this Godzilla 54 on display in the building.
Yeah. Nice.
We've seen that,
baby.
David.
Yes, we have.
This is Isamu Gakiya. He is one of the artists, and his art is very cool. This is No Sango, and so basically this is Gakiya's art. I don't know the titles of these. This is Sango's art.
Whoa.
So it's on display right now. It's only going to be on display for a couple more days. And you're probably wondering, like, why am I talking about this? It's not just because I love art. It's because Bandai has announced an event-exclusive 54 maquette figure being released.
Right up my alley.
Now, this totally, right, David? You're one of the first people I thought of for this, you know? I think everybody Godzilla fans all deserve to have a maquette version of Godzilla in their collection because this is such an iconic image of Godzilla. Wow. Anyway, I need to talk about this. It's a beautiful figure, at least from what we can tell.
Yep.
But what is happening here is there's a lot of confusion, and so what I'd like to do is take a minute just to very quickly lay out what the deal is with this figure.
Please do.
This is an event exclusive figure. Collectors who watch this show are we're not surprised with these kind of figures, generally speaking. You know, we buy these all the time, and they're not made for everybody because they're made limited or, for an exclusive event that not everybody can get to. But this event, which is in Tokyo, not some crazy far off, countryside village, this event went for half a month or longer, technically speaking. And you could go, and at the event, you could sign up to buy 3 of these figures. Now, what did happen earlier is that there was some confusion about that, and the event exclusive website to place the orders was actually accidentally released to the world. And so a bunch of Godzilla fans found it, got their orders in, but those orders were canceled. That's understandable. That was a mistake on probably Parco's fault. But basically, what I'm going to say is a lot of people are upset that they're like, I can't get this figure now. Join the club. This is what we do every time there's a figure that is exclusive. So just bite the bullet and deal with it. Also, if you're upset that you're not going to get this particular release, this is made by Bandai. Tell you what, I'll eat this hat if this figure is not reissued and sold in the Godzilla store in a number of months. That's like their MO these days, right? You could say, that figure's exclusive to X, and then I turn around and they're selling it in the Godzilla store in Osaka and in Tokyo and etc. So there you go. This is the Bandai 54 maquette figure, not available right now. And it won't be available, produced until December, I believe. So just make sure to temper your own excitement with this figure and just understand what you're looking at here as an exclusive. And if you can't get it, don't freak out about it. It's going to be available, but not until December. So this might be for sale later on in the Godzilla store. That's my prediction. Anyway, that's the end of the news. Thank you so much for hanging out with us while we talked about the greatest news of collectibles coming out in Japan and beyond. We are going to go. You have a comment on video. Okay, cool.
Oh, no, that comment.
You have that comment on video.
Oh,
that's right.
That's marked for posterity.
Yeah, go for it. This is organic material. I'm sure I'll be fine. It's not like eating a shoe.
I'm sure it's delicious.
I'm sure it's very salty after wearing it for many, many years. We are going to go ahead and move on to our intermission. And when we come back from this 2-minute intermission, we will start our Q&A. Thanks to everybody who sent in their questions. Yes. We'll get to those in just a couple of minutes.
Godzilla! You can pretend Godzilla turns a mighty castle into a pile of sand.
Go do it, Godzilla!
You control Godzilla's ugly tongue. You can make him stomp, pound his tail, pretending he strikes it all in his way. You can launch Godzilla's claw for the final blow.
We did it!
What will Godzilla do next? It's up to you. Godzilla with a claw that launches, some assembly required, from the Shogun Warrior Collection by Mattel.
回転塵落とし、そしてゴミを袋ごと捨てられるダストパック式。はやぶさはやぶ
Well, if it isn't for the intermission ending and we're back on screen, ready to go to our Q&A. Oh, man. Thank you to everybody who sent out, as I was saying earlier, a question to us. We technically are doing this, I guess, on a yearly basis right around May. So you can expect this again in 2024, guys. Let's see. I don't have any particular order that we're going to do these in. I probably should have. But every person, with the exception of 2, and we'll read those off later, sent us in a video question. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the question first. And then afterwards, we will each answer that question as best we can. Not everybody's going to have an answer for the questionnaire. So, you know,
do
we should just be happy that we're answering.
I struggle with a few.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. You're going to be good.
All right. So I guess what we'll do is we'll start things off with Alex Sawyer, who says,
"Hello, Collect All Monsters,
Hey,
Monster Collectors." Oh my god, I got that right. Holy crap. Anyway, my question for you is, what suit do you think should have been utilized a little bit more, maybe in a sequel movie or a brand new movie? Personally, I would have liked to have seen these two been in maybe one more movie. Maybe not so much a sequel to King Kong vs. Godzilla, but maybe it could have been. But which suit would you have liked to have seen, if it was only used once, would you like to have seen be used again in a sequel or another new film? Let me know.
all right. There's the question.
Very good question.
Do we want to just go in the order, or does anyone want to go first?
Let's go in the order. Let's go in order. It's easier that way.
Well, that means Gretchen's first.
Oh, Jesus. Crane. Jesus Christ. So, what, a 1992 suit? Like the, what are the, Boto? What do they call it?
Bato Goji.
Bato Goji. I love that suit because it has that, well, it has the kitty cat quality, let's be honest. Like, it has the beginnings of, like, where Godzilla looks like a cat. Like
a reactive cat, yeah, for sure.
Or, like, that he smelled something really bad because he's like... So that's my favorite suit. I'd like to see, I mean, but I also love, like, the idea of suit actors, so I would love to see just... I don't need to see like a big giant film, but it'd be kind of cool to see like some short indie films reusing the suits and whatnot. That would be cool. I know that some of them don't even exist anymore, or they've been like parted out or whatever.
The Bato Goji suit does exist because that is specifically the one that they made the Shinjuku Gracery Godzilla that's peering over. That's the 1992 Godzilla. And so that is what they have essentially they've essentially deemed that as the official Godzilla, like when they like bring out a Godzilla, unless they're bringing out specifically like the 54.
Well, he's got like the best eyes in that too. Like that's like when his eyes are like super expressive, and I think they're even like robotically controlled at this point, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
yes,
1992.
Yeah,
sure.
That's unique.
That's cool. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I like it.
And
I like
so
it.
Am I supposed to be like, hey, this goes to Leslie now?
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Leslie!
Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that.
He's ready.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm just taking it all in. That's what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. And this probably comes no surprise to anybody, but GMK, like, hey, give me one more him. I don't care what movie he's in. I just think that design, not only is it the best of the Millennium series in my opinion, but it's one of the best unique versions of Godzilla. Like the eyes, like the soulless, pupilless eyes really makes him look so ferocious.
Yeah.
He is monstrous. Yes.
Yeah. So I would love to, when I think of evil Godzilla, I think of the 64 or GMK, maybe more so GMK. So GMK for one more time for me.
What about you, David?
Well, I kind of agree with you and Alex. Like, I think the GMK is awesome and scary and would be great in another film. However, I kind of think that that suit only being in one film makes it that much more special and that much more. I don't know. I think it would lessen the impact of GMK if we saw it again and again. That's just my opinion. Although I do love it, and I kind of would like to see it again. I think you guys understand what I'm saying there. The 62 suit kind of was done again, not the exact suit, but like a facsimile of the suit in Godzilla vs. Kong. A lot of people haven't seen it, and that wasn't a straight up like Toho film production. But I would like to have seen that used again. But for me, the best one I'd like to see used again is the 1954. Imagine seeing a film like Godzilla 1984 or Godzilla Returns with the Shodai Godzilla suit. I think that would be, or even better, how about like a modern interpretation of the 54 film, still set in 54, but with modern sensibilities, much like Kyle, the film, the very short film that we saw at the Super Ride Museum. So for me, 100%, I would love to see a modern interpretation of the 1954.
We could see it in 6 months. We could see it in 6 months.
Oh my God! Your mouth to God's ears. Your mouth to God's ears. I don't think that's going to happen, but oh man, I would be happier than a pig in, you know what? Because that suit is what started it all. It conveys the essence of Godzilla. You know, pain, power, frustration. You know, very dinosaurian. It's just so great, and it's just too bad that they strayed a little too far from it with 55. Like that, to me, didn't have the essence of the 54 suit for whatever reason. The high-speed film probably had something to do with it too, but I just didn't like the way it sort of translated from the 54 to the 55. But yeah, that's what I got. How about you, John Ruffin? What do you think?
You know, David, I was thinking the same thing. So I'm going to pivot to another because I thought the 54s, I mean, he's gone, and we've seen him in the commercial and the tribute to Nakajima-san, you know, that they
the Boss Coffee,
right? Boss Coffee one, yeah.
Right, the Boss Coffee. So I'm going to say now, we will probably never see this incarnation of Godzilla, this suit, in another movie. But we're seeing it being used a lot as the Shin Godzilla incarnation. It's, you know, it doesn't fit, you know, outside of its context, outside of 2016. But it's finding its place in other, you know, with Evangelion and Shin Ultraman and Shin Kamen Rider. But that would be, I would love to see that again. Now, I'm surprised. Now, I don't know if this really is the case. Leslie, I thought you were going to mention like 67. You know, the 67.
We saw it in Gigan. That's why I didn't choose him. Really.
I see. So okay. That would be,
I mean, I think the question is more based on like the main character of the movie as opposed to like, well, we did technically see the 62 suit in the next film wrapped up in the web. You know, this is more about like seeing that suit get some like monster action again.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If I did to choose 67, I would say yeah, but I would have used it for a Godzilla's Revenge. That way it would eliminate all the stock footage.
Oh, I agree. You're spot on with that. And with Godzilla's Revenge, for me, it's the boy's dream. So Godzilla takes, you know, I can accept all the stock as really just playing out in his memories, you know, feels okay. But I'm going to go with Shin Godzilla. Although he's popping up, he should never really appear again, just like the 54 in a certain way, unless you're going backstory in some way.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord knows he shouldn't fight somebody. With those arms, I don't think he can defend himself. So that's like imagine Godzilla with Shin Godzilla trying to fight like this.
He's got a bifurcated mouth. He can do it. That he will.
Yeah, he can make it happen.
And he's got those lasers coming out of his back, man. He doesn't need
I think Shin Godzilla's got like the
Huge
defensive
parasites.
weaponry that wouldn't let King Ghidorah get near him, a Shin King Ghidorah. But I would like to see the Shin. They did something with Shin Ghidorah for Universal, and I would like to see that. I'm not saying that I want it to be a movie, because I agree with you, John. I think that like as a Godzilla movie and as a Godzilla look, Shin is really so good as a one and done kind of situation. Even though they have that thing at the end where you're like, they did the same thing at Gamera 3 where you're like, what? That's the end? What?
Yes.
But there's no continuation of the story because it is supposed to like leave things really open.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Agreed. No, that was really it for me. Okay, maybe I don't know if this will qualify, but we all kind of want to see what Junior was going to become, at the end of Destroyer. So that's an incarnation that, even though it's very Heisei, looks like his pops, but that's kind of open-ended too. So Kyle, what about for you?
Well, I have to say that I agree with Leslie's GMK. That's a really high up there. But in a sense, I really do feel like GMK is kind of that good as a one and done kind of situation too, because it has such a significant sort of origin for how that beast became alive, right? So GMK is the resurrected Godzilla from 54, done so by the ghosts of the spirit of the dead, I guess is what I should say, from World War II. And that's like, can you do that again? Like, I don't know if you could do that again, especially after he was just left as a heart on the ocean floor, which obviously gives credence to a sequel potentially, but it's just, I think it's that same kind of thing, especially since the director, Shusuke Kaneko, is the same guy that did Gamera 3. So I think for me, I'm going to surprise most people here. I'm going to say the 2004 Godzilla suit is actually one that I think deserves to have been in more. Now, I know there was a pachinko game, but I think that's what I'm using as my basis for the logic here. Seeing that Godzilla interact with like not the classic, but the King Ghidorah from like 2001, it just sort of made me go, oh, that's a solid Godzilla suit. I might talk trash on that movie all the time, but that suit itself, was made by Shinichi Wakasa to specifically reflect so many eras of the Godzilla suit that I feel like it just deserves a little more than Final Wars. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, that's, I think that, that's my answer, is the 2004 suit.
You know what? I was saying this about Ocean Freight now, because I don't believe in that. You ain't gonna get this until November, but
I agree with you.
Man, I need a drink.
A gigantic,
Here you go,
gigantic 2004 would be awesome.
A gigantic what would be awesome?
A gigantic
2004?
Final Wars.
Oh my God!
I'm just now. There's two of them. There's two of them.
Hang on. Do you guys hate the design of that Godzilla?
The design is
not at all. No.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, in terms of like a Godzilla, it's a really like I think it's a solid entry.
It's a little wet. It's a little thin.
Sure.
It's a little.
There's a reason for
really
that, though. And I think the thing that I appreciate about that is that they did that on purpose so that the suit actor could do better. And again, this is okay. How would I say this? We saw a lot of the 2004 Godzilla in Final Wars, but all the fights were so short, except for one gigantic long fight with Monster X and Kaiju Ghidorah. But, to me, that it's just sort of like it's a suit that I feel like could have, and we have technically seen it again being used again and again with the shorts that they've come out with. So I guess I should just say GMK. That's just the answer. Right?
I don't hate that suit, though. I absolutely don't hate that suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Oh Lord.
Leslie's like, we need to move on.
Here comes that train again. Here comes the truck.
Yeah, let's hear from Tanner Steffen.
How's it going, Collect All Monsters? Tanner here. I've got a question for you guys. If there's something that you absolutely had to have, you knew you needed it, you wanted it so bad, hasn't been announced yet, and it got announced tomorrow, what would that item be? I'm very curious to know. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful stream, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Oh, Lord.
That's an interesting question because I'm not sure how he wants.
Yeah, that's the one I was kind of struggling with. Like, how do you answer? Like, what do you not know is out?
I think John has the answer.
Go, John.
You go for it. Go for it.
So I don't know if I'm getting the question right, but if it was announced, so it's announced yesterday, or not have it tomorrow, or is that how it goes?
I think like if there's something that you're like, there's never been a toy announced of this thing that you are like, oh, I really wish they had made a toy of that or a collectible of that.
Well, for me, I mean, it would be a gigantic Cybot, Godzilla 84 Cybot.
Oh, 84 Cybot? Nice.
Yeah. Give me a 52 centimeter. I mean, I want a big one. I want it to go just like it. You say that's
I think it's coming. I think it's coming next year. I think it's coming next year. Mm-hmm.
Please.
I agree.
I know what I want. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Imagine if it was it had some radio control aspects just like the actual one, and what's the name of the company that did the radio control Godzilla?
Tokyo Mirai.
They do it.
Marui.
Yeah.
Mirai.
Oh.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Bobble has all the.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I don't know who fanciest of cats is, but I appreciate your cat. Like,
one of Leslie's
orange
biggest
boy.
supporters.
Oh, nice. My cat's an orange boy too. So yeah. What I was gonna say, like, the one I would do, dude, would be. I haven't seen, like, Safubi of the movie, dang, no, it's like the Yokai War. Like, I would like to see a Safubi line of the Yokai War. I've seen like
that too. That would be.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah,
like,
man.
Having like the kid as his like in his little rider outfit, and then
so you're talking about the 2005 specific one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I haven't seen the new one.
There have not been. Yeah, you're right. There actually have been no figures released from that 2005.
There's a need.
That's right.
I mean, I love yokai too. Like, that's my other collecting like market besides like kaiju is yokai for sure. Oh yeah, that would be cool. Because I mean, I really like the are they Dai, the ones that are like the ones from the 100 Get Along Ghost
Warfare.
The Spook Warfare ones. Yeah. Those are Dai, right?
I would love to have that.
Well, Dai is the company that made the movie. The company that made the small toys. If they're Sofubi style, those were made by Tomy in association.
Oh, that's right. Because they have all the Daimogen ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What about you, Leslie?
Let's see. I'm looking around my room. I'm trying to figure out what I don't have that I would love to have.
Right. I'm looking at your room going, what don't you have? That's amazing.
I'm looking like, where are you going to put the next gigantic? That's what I'm looking at.
Where's the kid door? The monster.
You're going to be Christine. You're going to be putting that on the floor. Sorry. Oh, there goes the truck.
Nice.
No, seriously. You know what? It just came to me, and he's celebrating a birthday this year. A gigantic size Jet Jaguar.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
It makes no sense because, again, I talked about it earlier with S Plus. They have not done anything to honor Megalon just yet. But if they can do a gigantic size Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultraman Jack, Ultraman Tartar, Ultraman Ace, Ultraman Kanye West,
you're right.
Ultraman Leroy,
Ultraman Kanye West,
Ultraman Gretchen, Ultraman Jonathan, Ultraman Kyle, Ultraman David. You mean tell me you can't do not a gigantic size Jet Jaguar? Come on, S Plus, so like
pretend you built it.
Like,
yes.
So that's what I want, a gigantic size Jet Jaguar, and he should be super expensive because David, we know because we got gigantic size Ultraman in our collection. They're not really expensive, both figure wise and shipping wise.
Not now.
Give us a Jet Jaguar, gigantic size Jet Jaguar.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I'm with you on that. That would be amazing.
What about you, David? What's
So
on
I
your
guess
wish list?
I guess I'm last, and I've been looking around the room while you guys were talking, and I'm really satisfied for the most part. But something that would fit in my collection that wouldn't be too expensive and that it would be dope AF would be a gigantic sized Dada with interchangeable heads, so you can switch from A to B.
Yeah.
How helpful would that be? And then the Rick version would come with the micronizer. And then the little scientists in tubes, which would be big because Dada's gigantic. Seriously, that would be, and he doesn't have a tail. He would fit in my collection really nicely.
I did.
And I would be stoked. You didn't know I was a Dada
That would
fan?
be awesome.
No, I didn't know I needed that figure now. That needs to happen.
You know what? I'm gonna email G later on. See,
right?
Hey, did you watch that episode?
That should be coming. You would think.
But Dada, you know, that episode specifically, when I was a little boy, that was like the third one that I ever saw of Ultraman. And I was pretty small when I saw it, and that scared the living bejesus out of me. It's creepy, and I was like, man, you cannot get away from those things. They can change into people. They can walk through walls. Last time I checked, our doors don't have a special alloy, so I'm screwed. You know, if Dada's after me. So, and I just thought it was terrifying, and I would love to have that figure. Now I really want it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be dope. To go with the Bolton, that would just be.
Yes, it would with the Bolton that I am gonna get.
Yes.
It's good. It's good.
Yes.
So, Kyle, what would you want that you could get tomorrow? I think that's what he was talking about. Like, what would be your ultimate?
Oh, the ultimate get. Oh man, I mean, basically, if I'm imagining myself in my permanent situation, right, like in my next iteration of the collection room, I am just gonna say like an affordable oxygen destroyer.
Oh,
because I'm sorry,
I'm down.
$1,000 for an unbuilt kit.
Too much.
That's too much. You could. I feel like I know people that could make one of those cheaper and market it and sell it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Actually, I will just say, like, the dude back when I was in the 501st, there was a guy down in Southern Oregon who worked as like they worked at a boat company, like they manufactured boats, and he basically built aluminum frame and plastic too, but aluminum frame rifles, like stormtrooper rifles, which if you hand that to a kid, it feels like a real rifle blaster. And he was, he was like, what would you ever want to make? And I'm like, this oxygen destroyer, dude, I bet you could do it up. And like, I was going to have him like get the plans for it and actually figure out how much it was going to cost to make it. It would be like a build your own kind of kit, but all the pieces would be like metal and like a plexiglass tube. Just saying, that would be my. Clearly, I've thought way too much about this, but yeah, that would be the thing: an affordable oxygen destroyer.
I'm down. I second that.
I add on?
Second that.
Yes, I third that. But you sparked something in my head. You know what I want? An actual replica size of the King Shisha statue. Can we just get that?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And actually, I'm just going to piggyback on that and say I'd like a replica life-size Miss Namikawa. No, wait, that's not good. I shouldn't say that out loud.
I mean, that would be great.
A Shisha, like made of stone, John. Made of stone.
Made of stone. Look, somebody's out there. Come on, we have too many great companies right now. Going, get that out there tomorrow.
Leslie.
I can't believe it's that, man. I know.
I can't believe
that
either. I love her.
You will be missed, Kyle. You will be missed.
Yeah, I'm sure. Gonna get canceled.
I just think about that episode of Johnny Sacco when he got his altar, for his birthday.
Yes, he put it together. Yep. I thought you could just say a Johnny Sacco watch.
Oh, I'll take that too.
Yeah, that'd be easy. Easy to do.
That'd be easy.
Easy to do.
Ooh, so many good things.
All right. Did we get everybody's answer in? Should we move on?
Yes.
I believe we did.
Awesome.
All right. Chris Eaton sends in his question next.
Hey, Cam guys. So my question for this episode, and I think it's an interesting question, and I apologize if it has been asked before or if you guys have covered this, but is there that one thing, something, a figure, a book, anything that you had some sort of sentimental value attached to that you might have given away or sold that you deeply regret it? It can be for any reason. For me, it was a Marmot Gamera figure that my dad gave me about 10, 15 years ago. That for Christmas, I think it was either Christmas or my birthday, but a few years later, I lost my job and I had some bills to pay, so I sold it. Smash cut a year ago, my father passes away, and the regret of selling that figure set in. So that's part one of that question. Part two is, did you go back and get that particular thing back like I just did? This just came in today.
Oh, outstanding.
Awesome. That's really sweet.
There's
That's awesome.
An emotional attachment to getting this back, and it's never going away unless, I'll probably be buried with this thing. So that's my question. So hopefully you guys are having fun out there, and once again, you all have glorious box days. Thank you guys.
Yay!
That's a great question. That is a great question.
That's a great question.
Who wants to go first?
I guess
I
I'll
got
go.
this.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, do you want me to? Wait, I can.
Well, let me go first because I have a connection to this because.
Okay, go for it.
As you all know, my dad passed away last month on Easter Sunday, and he's the one that introduced me to Godzilla movies in the first place.
Wow.
And I would love to. This just got me thinking. See if I can find. I don't know how I would do this. The actual TV guide from the year that he circled in that book to get me to watch Monster Zero, and I don't know what year it was. I know it was in the early 70s sometime.
I can find that.
Can you find it? Oh my God, John, that would be so great. When he told his story, it's like, I never had it. I mean, it's long gone. I mean, it's like 1973, 74. Around that time, I was really young. So, but that would be something that I would love to have as a momentum of, my collecting journey, essentially starting with watching that film. That was the first film that I watched, and it was from my dad, and it was in TV Guide. But that isn't my answer. I just came up with that. My answer.
Can I say something?
Of course you can.
So a few months ago, I got a subscription, newspaper.com, where you can go back in the archives through old newspapers. And what I started to do is go back through the 70s and early 80s of the TV listings in Philly of all the Godzilla movies I know I saw and didn't see. And you can go back at least and then find out the date and when.
I'm going to do that.
Because they were usually listed in the papers as well as the TV guide. And then eBay, you might be able to find, because I found some old TV guides I remembered. I can help.
I'm going to do it. That's a great suggestion, John. And I even have an advantage because I know it was on the 4:30 movie.
Excellent.
We talked about the 4:30 movie, so I know I can just look for all the old 4:30 movies, and I'm going to do that.
Exactly.
I really appreciate that last question because it's making me think now. And anyway, I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to you on that when I find it. I think that'd be so cool.
Okay, and I'll go on with my subscription and find it.
Please, and if you can give me some help with that. So something that I bought and I greatly regretted selling. It has to be. That's happened before, but the most heinous thing that I sold that I never should have was the Pilot A's King Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
I know. People are going to shoot me for this. I was such a stickler. I wanted one with an absolutely perfect wing. Now, the Pilot A's Ghidorahs, like the majority of them came from the factory with a wonky wing because it just didn't fit right in there. But there are a few. Greg Benton bought one from Dan Miller that has the perfect wing. And I'm like, I'm going to sell this one and hold out to see if I can get the perfect wing. Boy, was I wrong, because now I can't even buy can't even afford one with a wonky wing anymore because there's not that many and no one's selling them. But it was the whole thing where it was a time period where I was very overzealous with my pre-ordering. And it got to the point where I was looking at how much I was going to have to pay in one swoop, and it was almost like $2,000. So I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Oh.
And I know went to my good buddy James. I know, Michael. I know. My good buddy James Hartman. He still has it, so maybe maybe in the kindness of his heart, I'll be able to get it back at some point. But James has it. And
Dearest James.
Dearest James.
For which I am deeply regretful. I must request my pilot ace Ghidorah.
I know, but it's not helping because people are posting like, yeah, there was one on Mandarake or on the Yahoo Japan that went for like $3,000. It's like, oh,
right,
I don't think I'm going to get it back for $450. You know, I don't think that's going to happen. But I'll give him a sweet deal. I'll give him a little extra if I can ever get it back. But the problem was, man, that wonky wing, I just couldn't stop looking at it. It just bugged me. You know what I mean? It just like bugged me. And it's like, I just have to get over myself. I know. But that is the deepest regret. I regret that. And pray for me that I do get it back. Because I don't think I'll ever be able to get a different one on the secondary market unless I'm still holding out the slightest hope that Marmot Vinyl Wars will start producing the Pilot Ace line at some point in the future, because that stranger things have happened. They did reproduce Pilot Ace Harryhausen figures, so we did see Cyclops, the Dragon, and the Ymir reissues of those. So I'm holding out like the slightest amount of hope for that, or James really, decides that he wants to help his old pal out, and maybe he'll bring it. Maybe he'll bring it to Chief here, and he'll put it under my pillow, and then the other wing will be wonky too. No, but I definitely regret selling that. That's the biggest regret, and it's a great question. John, how about you?
Oh, or Gretchen, do you want to go?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Gretchen was next. Go.
Okay. Mine is not have to anything to do with like kaiju, because I said many times, I'm a new collector, so I haven't had the opportunity or the necessity to sell what I have yet. Yet. So I guess I would think back on the things that I've collected in the past, and I used to collect comics, especially this one particular line, Sandman comics. I don't know if anybody in the 90s, that was a thing. And I had this entire collection. I had signed ones and just so many cool, validated ones or certified ones. And I had a girlfriend in the 90s that really loved Sandman as well. And it was late 90s, and I was leaving to go to Japan, and I was like, I'll give you my collection. And immediately, so many regrets. But I ended up I know. And then coming back full circle, thankfully, Sandman or the Sandman comics were re-released into these compendium volumes that were these gigantic volumes. And now I get to enjoy them in that way. I miss some of the things the ephemeria of it. I had the collectible cards, the sticker cards that came out during that time period.
Yeah.
All of that. This all dates me as my age, but it's I still think about those and go, I wonder if she still has them. We don't speak to each other, but
oh no,
man, yeah.
You might want to look her up and see what's up, right?
Yeah. Painful. Painful.
Yeah. So John.
Oh, I talked about this a very long time ago, probably in our first year, and it's funny that this question would come up because I was thinking about it a couple of days ago, and I just was like, oh man, many moons ago, back in the late 70s, when there weren't many Godzilla toys, even though a boom may have been happening in Japan, it wasn't happening necessarily here. We were having our Mattel Godzilla boom, which is Shogun Warrior, and then they came out with the Godzilla Gang, and I had several from that collection. And I had a good friend. We'd all be playing on the block. Marlon would beg me every weekend or every day that we came around. Can I borrow your Godzilla? Godzilla Gang is my favorite figure ever. Yep. And I have replaced it, and I have 4 of them now. But I want that one that he never brought back. And the homie used to live in is not far from here. I could walk to it in about 2 minutes, and I just look at the house, and I'm like, I just wonder if it's still in there. And it was
have you lost touch with him completely?
No, I could get in touch with him through his family. But it's
I think you need to.
You're talking about That's like 78, 79.
Where's my Shogun Warrior?
No. It'd be nice to connect. John, he may.
You
have
can
it
get your
like-
Shogun Warrior. I'll get my comics.
He may have it in his cabinet somewhere, like in the garage. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Just be,
I would rather
by the
not
way,
know if he's gone. I'd rather would not know. I don't want to know he's in the mud, disintegrated, or cut in half.
Oh,
and I've got,
fair enough.
I got the perfect replacements, but it's like nothing like that. That was my Godzilla. I liked it above all the others I had. Few of my collection.
Yep.
I can see that.
Yeah. I think you should get in touch with him. I really do.
Yes, man.
I really do.
I would. Yeah, I don't. It's so long ago. And as when you grow up, and we were, approaching our, teen years or whatever, you start throwing stuff out. You just cast get stuff away. So I can only, painful.
I guess it's better not to know.
Yeah, I mean, I have replacements, but still. Leslie, come on. What do you have? Do you have one that you regret and you wish you had?
Yeah, I do. But I was able to get it back. I actually sold. It's gonna be kind of shocking, and Jonathan, you're gonna have that. I'm sure you're gonna have that shocking voice effect on. So stand by when I tell you this. But I actually sold the 30 centimeter X Plus 1964 Godzilla, the closed mouth with the blue dorsal plates.
I remember you did. Yep.
Oh man, yes, you did.
Yeah, I sold it, and don't get me wrong, I sold it to a great friend, Burley Vane. We had a trade. Actually, you know what? We traded. I gave him this, and I got the first Billiken Mechanicon, the one that I screwed up morally that I talked about earlier. And the reason why I did, because Diamond started to come out with their S Plus figures, cheaper figures, and they were reissuing the Godzilla, but it was the open mouth one. And I had no idea that this would become one of the most sought after, rare, exclusive Godzilla figures of all time, right? Because of the closed mouth and because of the blue dorsal plates. Yeah. And ever since then, again, I was torn. I mean, I was happy for Burley, but at the same time, I still wanted it back. And so I was able to find one on Mandarake one day.
Oh.
And I was able to get it back, for a good price. But let me just say this before we move on to Kyle. One last thing, because I want to plug the Monster with Attitude show. They're going to do a show next Saturday on the 20th, where they're going to talk about and determine what is the overall best X Plus 30 centimeter figure of all time.
Oh, wow.
And let me just tell you, this is not a threat. This is not an overblown premonition. This is a promise. Let me just tell you, if this guy does not make your top 5, or at least is in the running to be arguably the greatest X Plus figure 30 centimeter of all time, let me just tell you that I know some of you are coming to G-Fest, and I'm coming too, and I'm bringing blueberry muffins and a big can of whoop ass, and I just gave away my last blueberry muffin. So y'all, Adrian, Michael, Eric, Cody, Thomas, all of y'all.
Samson.
Do the right thing. Samson. Yeah, I would love to beat him up. Do the right thing.
That's right.
And make this happen. It's not a threat. Again, it's not an overblown premonition. It is a promise. And again, if he doesn't make it, when I see one of y'all, I'm going to start swinging. And you have nobody to blame but yourselves. All right?
Oh, man. And just a little addendum to that. That was also sculpted by Akira Ibaraki, if you guys didn't know that.
Do the right thing, Monster Attitude. Have a great show. I'm going to be watching, but do the right thing. Now, Kyle, what do you want to talk about, sir?
That's funny. I also got rid of my 1964 30 centimeter X Plus with the light up dorsal plates too. Hey man, I had this thing a couple of years ago where basically I decided that my 30 centimeter figures taking up too much room. I could replace them with 25 centimeter figures, and I did. There was no regrets though. I actually did not regret that at all. Because I was able to get the Mothra versus Godzilla set, the 25 centimeter set that came with both the Mothra and the Godzilla. So,
and you still have that, right? You still have that.
I mean, I do, but I'm going to be selling all of my X Plus figures pretty much. So just keep that in mind when we do our next garage sale. Anyway, But that wasn't the one I regret, even though it is a beautiful figure. I guess I have had many times where I've had to sell things and I haven't wanted them to sell, right? Like I hadn't wanted to be in the position where I had to sell it because I needed the money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the big one of all of them is the 1964 Godzilla, but the Bandai Large Monster series, the gigantic one that they put out for like, and they did one, I think, in '84, and then there was a second one that was released in '89. That's the one that I had. Was
in '88? '88 was the second one.
'88, excuse me. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's the one that I had, was the '88 one, and basically I had that. I picked it up for probably about $100.
Wow.
And then this was many years ago. When I was still married to the ex-wife, and Tiger was a little kid, and I didn't have a great job, and we needed some money, so I sold that back in the day. Wow. And I was pretty bummed about it, because I think I got it for off of a Yahoo Japan auction way long ago, and it was a really great deal at the time, but I sold it and it was gone. And I was just like really bummed about it, because of all the things that I sold, I was kind of like, man, how am I going to get that again? But I did get it back. And like maybe 3 or 4 years after the divorce, I ended up finding one on Mandarake for $60 US.
Wow. What?
I mean, I had to pay the shipping on top of that, but yeah. $60, and it was used. It wasn't in great condition. There was like a little warping in the tail, but man, that was a great one. And yes, I fully endorse going back and buying something if you regret selling it later on.
Yeah, Kyle,
that's an iconic piece.
Yes, this is kind of off of Kaiju, but is there a Star Wars item that you had that you regret parting ways with?
Star Wars item.
That Stormtrooper outfit that you had on.
Yeah, that's right.
The Stormtrooper, that outfit I actually gave to my wife's cousin, and like I don't fit in that outfit anymore anyway. But basically, he's like a new dad, and also a nerd. And I was like, dude, I will show you how to like fix this up, like to get it up and running. But basically, this would be much better suited, much better served in your possession. But yeah, I don't really have any. I had this one set of bounty hunter figures from Kotobukiya, like a Japanese company.
I remember it. It was in your guest room.
That's right. It was in the guest room. So it's all 6 of the Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters. And each one came with a piece of Darth Vader. So when you have all 6 of them,
you get Vader.
Not only do you have all 6 of the figures, statues, and Vader, you also have the platforms, which if you arrange them, they create the Imperial cog.
Yes.
And Vader's in the center, and he has like 3 different arms. Anyway, that was a fantastic set. I only regret selling it because it was just so. I had to sell it because it was just so big, so huge, and it just didn't fit anywhere. And like that, aside from the fact that I stopped collecting Star Wars stuff, that was, I think I got rid of that. I sold that for a pretty good deal at somebody. They got all of them for like a good price at one of those toy shows.
So,
yeah. Anyway, I hope I answered Chris's question.
Yeah, you did. That was a great question, Chris. And John, real quick.
Sorry for your loss.
I regret selling my first edition Star Wars cards, the blue set. I had the entire set. Even with the C-3PO, with the X-rated C-3PO one. I sold it when I first moved to New York because I was broke. I had no money.
Wait, did you say X-rated?
Well,
excuse me. What?
What has Anthony Daniels done?
One of the cards had C-3PO coming out of the oil bath, and it looks like he's a little bit excited. It's just a trick of the way the card is made. It's not for real. Or maybe it is. But
that's amazing.
I had the whole. I had the hats. I had all the stickers. I had everything.
Nice.
I sold it to Children of Paradise because I wanted to buy a Godzilla item.
Oh man!
But I regret it. I wish I would have kept it. I know Takwara does not approve. I know.
Absolutely.
I don't approve either. And now they're like ridiculous money to get that first blue set back.
Yeah, I still have a few remnants. I still have a
That's
few
hysterical.
from 77, you know, and
Great
some
comments
of my Bantha
in the
tracks.
chat.
I still have some of my original Star Wars stuff.
Nathan, Nathaniel.
Good old Bantha Tracks magazine.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe
We
I
could
shouldn't
totally
mention
have
that.
like
My
a
goodness
Star
gracious.
Wars adjacent episode someday.
Wow. Okay. Moving
Oh,
right
man.
along.
Yes.
This is a spicy episode. What can we say?
spicy.
Wow. Is it always like this?
Sorry, I brought up Star Wars.
From now on out, it's
David's
gonna be like this every
X-rated.
episode.
Oh, here we go.
That's right. Time to move on to Greg Benton's question. Oh, wait, did everybody answer that? Actually,
Yes,
I
I
think,
think so,
I
right?
think we did answer it and then some.
all right,
Yeah.
good deal. Here's Greg.
Hello, Collect All Monster collectors.
Hello, Greg.
It's your boy Greg. And
Looking
I
sexy.
Got a question for y'all. Here we go. So, I brought some friends to help me with this question. Gaigon and Hedera, as y'all know, obviously, by the aces no less, right here before your very eyes. What figure were you excited about, downright happy to get, but upon receiving, fell head over heels madly in love with it, just based on various things, the sculpt, colorway, just the likeness to the movie? I don't know. What figure did you get and you were just like, wow, this completely exceeded my expectations? Obviously, being that I have these guys with me, guy, girl, it, thing, critter, sexless, I don't know. I always assumed he was a guy. Anyways,
Gaigan makes sense.
I shouldn't be assuming
Gaigan.
kaiju gender without firm stances on these things. But anyways, what figures did you get that really just took you to another level? And I love Pilot Aces, but I just love this Hedera. I think it's for this one, it's the colorway and it has some really good oil sheen to it. And then for this one, it's the sculpt and it's the level of
that's
detail
fabulous.
on like his individual scales.
Yeah.
So, what figures, collectible in general, did you receive? You were happy to get it, but once you did get it, you were just blown away. Thanks.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Great questions.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
David.
go first.
Yes.
All right. So let's clear something up first and foremost. Okay. So Gaigon. It's not girl gone. It's Gaigon. Okay. And it's not Shidora. It's He-Dora. So both males. Just saying. It's in the name.
He-Dora.
Anyway, it's not Shidora, right?
Stop.
He-Dora.
Oh.
Yeah, talk about it is not approved.
I think actually that's been disproven by Toho on an official level.
Thank
but
you.
Go for it.
I don't care.
You should
That's
care.
What I approve. That's approved by me. All right.
You
anyway.
should care about kaiju pronouns.
I know, but I don't because
Anyway,
Hidora is a boy. He's a messy boy. Anyway.
why would anybody care?
I was just trying to be funny. That's all. All right. So
That's great.
anyway, this is the one that I can
Oh,
fit.
that's
fit
really
Greg's
pretty.
question.
Yeah,
This
that's
I got
beautiful.
this on a whim. The Akama Tenshi Shin Desugoji. It is absolutely exceeded every expectation I had. It's heavy. It's big. It's beautiful. You can't really see it, but there's glitter inside the vinyl.
Ooh, that is
And
really pretty.
It is.
That's super pretty.
I mean, it definitely was a little bit expensive, but I just wanted to have at least one of this particular figure, this guy sculpts in my collection. And man, I am not disappointed. It's just unbelievable. And if you feel the weight of this, it's like super, super heavy, and he's just great. So exceeded every expectation. Usually the question is, which one did you think you were going to love, and you got it, and it wasn't so great. But
right, yeah.
I kind of like that turn.
I like that twist on the question, and it's definitely this guy right here. And he's a recent purchase. Yes, Robert. He's the
gorgeous.
And
Gorgeous.
that's it. So who wants to go next?
Oh boy. I mean, I guess I could follow up that guy. I mean, he's not a good follow up, but I mean, he's mine. I love him. So M1's Mammoth Flower.
I like that.
I love Ultra Cube, right? Like that's my bag. I love it. And this figure is actually a gift from Kyle, my first G Fest last 2019. And when he was saying, "Do you want anything from them one table?" and I was like, "A mammoth flower. That's what I want. It's all I want." Because I had seen his son has like the black one that's like the giant open folding one, and that was super cool. But I collect tiny figures, so this was like my version of that. This guy, I love him so much. Look at the colors, pink and like it's got a nice like shiny tone. I mean, it's just like lovely. And I honestly, if I had the resources, I would go and probably buy every colorway I could find of this.
Awesome.
And I regret not buying the first one I ever saw of it at the Monster Palooza when I first saw M1's table, and I was like, "Ooh!" And him and Kyle and Rachel and everybody was like going crazy. They were all buying stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, this!" And I didn't realize, I didn't kind of know like that there wasn't very many. I didn't realize there wasn't very many figures of this particular creature made. So that's why I was kind of stoked about. Yeah. So that's why I especially like it. It's also a little bit yokai in its own way. Yeah.
Good things come in small packages.
Yes.
Very awesome.
They do.
Unique.
Who's next?
Who's next? Leslie. Oh, John. John's offering.
I could go next. Well, this one I had to have it. Took a long time to get it. Couldn't get it when it first came out, and it blew me away. I knew it was going to be epic, but like every time I look at it, it's like absolutely perfect. It's the Kyoto Shin Godzilla.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's like
it's pretty perfect, man.
Everything.
Yeah,
it is perfect. It is Shin Godzilla in every way, and so that one for me. I can't show it; it's right there. But
I love that you love Shin Godzilla because there's so much hate on Shin Godzilla. I also love Shin Godzilla, John. So it's cool.
I
love
appreciate that. Yeah, it's one of those films that I would love to hate it, but I can't. It's just too much.
It's so good. It's so good. So Japanese.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
You know, that figure, John, that figure that you chose, the pictures don't do it justice. Kyle and I saw one for the first time at Astro Zombies in Osaka.
Oh.
It was chained up. It had his ankle chained up so no one could walk off with him like anybody would try. But that figure, like I always thought that the X Plus, because it's stylized, was superior. But seeing that in person, it's more upright. It's there. Yeah, that's it. It's just stunning.
And that's not a good
and it's huge. No, the pictures don't do it justice.
Yes,
it's really great.
I wish I could see close-ups of that red undertone. Is it like, can you see through it or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's so
has
pretty.
All kinds from different
that tail
angles.
is gnarly.
It changes. Yeah,
there's nuances
and
in that
jaw
suit.
moves on the tail. Yeah, these pictures are so old.
Love it.
I just couldn't justify it with owning the X Plus Gigantic 2. That's the only reason I didn't get it, because it is that good. It is really good.
Q may also like.
Yeah,
it's my favorite. And it's like, give me a 74 that's like that, or a Cybot, and I'd be in heaven.
65. Daisenso Goji.
That would be dope, though. Leslie? You're up.
Again, it's hard. Actually, you know what? I got this figure courtesy of Burley Vang. It's not Godzilla, but it's something that I was a huge fan of growing up, and I'm glad I have a representation of it. You've seen it before, but I don't mind bringing it up here. But the X Plus Gigantic series, Dino Megazord.
Awesome. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. Like Michael Hamilton, even though I kind of checked out after Power Rangers Turbo, but I've always maintained that the original Dino Megazord, or Daiusion, however the hell you call it in the Japanese version, is, in my opinion, the absolute best version of the Megazord. And when X Plus brought this out, I want to say, when did it come out? I want to say 2016. And there was talks that they were going to do a gigantic series, Sentai Robo line, right?
Wow.
So imagine the gigantic robots that they could have put out. Like maybe they could have done the Spider-Man, Leopardon Robo, or Johnny Robo, whatever you call it, or even newer or alternate Megazords like Ninja Megazord, Thunder Megazord, Shogun Megazord, Astro Megazord, or the Dragon Zord. Like I would have loved to have seen a gigantic series Dragon Zord, but
apparently there was enough interest in this line, so this was like a one and done in terms of Power Rangers Megazords. But yeah, whenever I see this and I see the price this thing goes for on Mandarake IE, I looked out. But this really is a stunning piece, especially if you're a Power Rangers fan.
Super cool.
Surprising answer from you. I did not expect that.
Yeah. Gotta show some Power Rangers some love because, again, me being a Godzilla fan was why I became a Power Rangers fan because, they use, Japanese footage from the Super Sentai stuff. And that all really came from Godzilla, men in suits, crashing Miniature City. But again, like, can you imagine being one of the Power Rangers and being a pilot of one of those colossal Zords? Like, I think about what would happen if, like, Collect All Monsters became like the Power Rangers,
exactly.
Gretchen,
we're gonna Voltron this.
Yeah, like Gretchen, you could be yellow. Christine
could be Yellow Ranger,
and Kyle could be the Red Ranger. I mean, I guess John, we have to toss up who's gonna be the Black Ranger. But anyway, it's a joke, people. Don't. It's a joke.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that's my pick. I get a series Megazord from X Plus.
That we did.
Surprising.
Awesome.
Dude. Yeah.
What about you, Kyle?
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So this is a very difficult question to answer, especially since I've been collecting for so long. I'm very tempted to grab my Varan 2001 model kit, but dude, I've showed that off on this program so many times that it really
Holy Grail.
I feel like it's just beating a dead horse. Beating an unused monster.
Beating an awesome horse. That is
it is awesome. I absolutely love it.
Shy. You got to bring him out. It's all right.
I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud of you doing that one.
Thank you very much. Eric Stolp is in the chat right now, and he mentioned something that I actually have to agree with. The Zombie Law figure, also from Akame Tenshi.
There you go.
Is absolutely
what
a stunner
is
in
that?
person. So Akame Tenshi, I don't know his full history. If Christine was with us, she'd be able to give us a lot more detail about him.
Nick Sides knows.
Or Nick, right? Exactly. But basically, this is one of the crazy Akame Tenshi sculpts that has been released, and there have been, like, I'm gonna guess at least 10 colorways of this.
Are the muscles
Some of them
and the bones or
go crazy? Yeah.
Texture?
The bones.
Oh.
So
that's part of like the actual oh wow, that's cool. I've never seen this before.
Yeah. And
that's
the guts,
rad.
The guts are like
oh, that's
juicy.
gnarly.
Ooh, that's over it's over the top.
That is gnarly.
It's like the Meltdown figure that Toho doesn't dare release, right? I think that's like kind of how I feel about this.
Cool.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really cool.
True.
Plus, if you're a Sofubi, like hardcore Sofubi fan, like all the stuff about like how they make these figures. Yeah. These are super expensive. They are really, really not in the cheap range when they're brand new, and it's because they spend so much time making them. This is not just like a heavily mass manufactured figure. Anyway, yes, this is what I would say is that these.
Good choice.
I've got two of them. Actually, I like this one so much that I got a second. So I got the.
I like the green one.
They're both awesome.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah.
There you go. There's my answer for you.
I agree. And when you saw it in person, you were like, "Oh my god, this thing is just like insane."
Yeah.
That's how I felt too. Good choice.
Awesome.
Did everybody answer?
I believe we did.
All right. Well, I think it's time to move south of the border and south of the hemisphere, all the way around the world to Australia.
Here we
our good
go.
friend Helmy is going to answer a real popular question. Ask a real popular question.
Hey guys. So my question is, if you could get 3 pieces from the legendary film universe, right, the Monsterverse, what 3 pieces will you have in your collection? And you can't sell it. You have to keep it. It will always be in your collection. So what 3 pieces from the legendary Monsterverse will you have in your collection specifically? Thanks, guys.
Helmy, just because you're being adorable and cute doesn't mean that you're going to be saved from the ire against the Monsterverse here on this show. Just a warning. I'll go ahead and let my co-hosts hit you up right now, but Helmy is watching right now, by the way.
Oh man.
Well, Leslie,
Monsterverse
why don't you go
Collectibles.
first, Leslie?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh God, yeah. I was so waiting for this one. Like, this is the question I was like, when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, because I get to poke that bear one more time to my three awesome co-hosts. Because truth be told, they don't really care for the MonsterVerse, and that is absolutely fine. I'm sure they enjoyed it on some level, but they feel like it should move on, and that is absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling that way. However, I'm fine with it. I don't think it's the end all be all like a lot of people tend to think that they are, but I find it to be enjoyable, entertaining films on some level. I just don't get involved in the cesspool of Twitter of people who live and die by the MonsterVerse, and I don't get into all that, quite frankly. But I mean, they're fine for what they are. They're fine over-the-top popcorn flicks, in my opinion. But again, with space becoming an issue for me, and I'm getting down to the nitty-gritty about what I want to have in my collection because I don't have that much space left. I really can't come up with three, quite frankly. I can only come up with two. Like when it comes to Spiral Studios, and hopefully they're listening, they're watching. Like, considering what they have brought out thus far, stuff that they're talking about that they're going to do, they got Godzilla, they got Mothra, they got King Ghidorah. Of course, the GMK Godzilla is coming. Well, it's not MonsterVerse. But as far as MonsterVerse, they're doing Behemoth, they're doing a Muto, they're bringing out another Godzilla 2019. So, but out of all those monsters, there are two major monsters that they have not announced that they're doing yet, but I wanted to do. And one of them is Rodan. So I want to see at least a Rodan in the Ultimate Master line, like the Burning Godzilla, or in the types of MonsterVerse like Mothra. I want to see a Rodan some way, shape, or form. I don't care what it is, but I want to see at least Rodan. Rodan should be the next monster. And another one actually is Kong. But even though I got the S Plus Gigantic series MonsterVerse Kong, and I'm fine with that, if Spiral Studios were to do another version of Kong, I would mind getting that. But aside from that, again, I'm really limited at what I want to get from the MonsterVerse, and what I got thus far will do me. But again, a Spiral Studios, Rodan, or Kong, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to do anything with the Mega Beast or Prime 1 or anything like that, but Spiral Studios is getting my money for the foreseeable future, so that's what I want to see. All right, so which one of you MonsterVerse love muffins is going to follow that with your answer?
I'll go next.
All right.
Do it!
So three, right? Three MonsterVerse collectibles. Okay, so number one is something I already have in my collection, and it is a poster from China that I don't have a good picture of. I might be able to find it as soon as I stop talking. But basically, when Godzilla King of the Monsters was in planning and being made and so forth, being advertised, I guess I should say, in China, they had a number of really cool posters that were not available anywhere else, and one of them had a visual style that I absolutely love. So I really like that. That's number one. I know Helmy's saying and you can't get rid of it, you can't sell it, it has to be in your collection permanently, like some sort of punishment. But I'm not gonna have it on display probably in my next house, but I'm not necessarily jumping to sell it either. It's a really beautiful piece. So I would say that's number one. Number two, of the four MonsterVerse movies, counting Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters was really the only one that I really liked. The one that I sort of gravitated towards, the one that I sort of I watched that film, I walked out of it, I was like, ooh, I would like to work for Monarch. I thought they did a really good job on all of this stuff. There were problems with it too, but the monster designs were fantastic. And so I'm agreeing with Leslie. Number two would be a gigantic or really badass Rodan. I'll be honest, the X Plus Rodan from 2019 was a little lackluster. The sculpt is fantastic, but the paint job leaves a little to be desired, especially the Rick version. So that would be number two.
You ain't lying.
And then I'm going to say for number three, Helmy's one of those money's no objects kind of guys.
You ain't lying about that either.
You know what I mean? So, Helmy, my number 3 is actually something that does exist, and it's not something that like I would ever literally just go out and get, but it was the coolest thing I've ever seen developed, and I think it's also Spiral or Prime 1. I can't remember who made it, but the bust, like the big giant bust of Godzilla, but when you turn him around, like the base actually has like his lair from the movie on it. Like that to me, Prime 1, thank you very much. That was the coolest freaking thing that I ever saw released for that movie. And I remember looking at it and going, wow, that's amazing. No way would I drop that kind of money on it. Also, I don't have that space, right? So space, money, no objects. That's my answer for you, Helmy.
Yeah, that was a beautiful piece.
That's good.
That was good, Kyle.
All right,
Well,
let me go because let me get it over with. Okay, let's just do it.
We were saving you for last, David.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Right?
No. We all know how I feel about these films, but I really did actually like Skull Island. So let's just say one of the items that I would like to have is some representation of that Kong from Skull Island. Maybe Kong with the octopus coming out of his mouth, because that was a cool scene inspired by the 62 film. So let's just say some kind of a Kong collectible from Skull Island. Number 2, I guess I'd have to go with something I do already have. I went to see King of the Monsters with James Hartman, John Bumpus, Corey Cromer, Keith, and Brandy, and we went to see it opening night at the IMAX here in Seattle. And although I didn't love the film, they all loved it, and the memory of sitting with them and seeing them so happy made me happy, and it actually made me have a better opinion of the movie than I did watching it through their eyes and watching it through my own eyes, which I did later, and I was like, however, they were giving away free posters of the film the night that we got them. So that poster is a memory with my friends. So that means a lot to me. I'll never sell it. I think it's kind of cool. And then I guess number 3 would have to be, I would like to have one of AJ Russo's Spiral collaboration Sofubi figures, because I want to support a good friend in the community. I'm really stoked for him and all the people that worked hard on that. So I'm really, really, really excited for him. Even though it's not really my cup of tea, I still might even buy one just because I want to support him, and it is kind of beautiful. So, see, you thought I was going to be a jerk, but I wasn't.
Oh,
see?
right.
You thought.
And I forgot all about having that already. It's like behind me.
Well, you already have it though. But I think that's great for him and for the community that one of our own is living out one of his dreams to have a figure. So I think that's a really great thing to do. So, having said that, I'm done. Thanks, Helmy. Not.
Nice. Thank you, Jonathan.
John, let's hear what you got now. Let's see what you got to say.
Hold on. Hey, John, hey, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Y'all see this meme? You see that Caddyshack meme on Facebook, right? Okay, look. John, well, we're waiting.
We're waiting.
Well, I'm going to shock and awe. I'm going to shock and awe because I do have a little representation of Monsterverse in my collection that I won't part with. I think, okay, I know. It wasn't the best choice on their part in terms of designs, but I thought this as a figure is pretty dope. I mean, I would have taken another incarnation, but the SHMA Mecha Godzilla. I know.
I can't do that one.
I'm gonna have to do some rosaries or something.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
John.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. Jesus.
Never gets old.
All right.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be quiet. Go.
I thought he made for a good photo.
Yes.
Oh man.
Okay, that I love you. I love you, Jonathan. I love you, Jonathan.
Oh man.
Busted
But
ass.
I thought he made for a good photo. You know, a good.
Look at like a weird
and let me say,
xenomorph.
That's right.
Yes, they had some great designs in the art of Godzilla vs. Kong. Excuse me, in the art of this second
Godzilla
movie.
vs. Kong.
Yeah, no, not that, but no.
Doesn't
They had
matter.
other Mechagodzilla designs.
Doesn't really matter. No.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, with that said,
they chose
yes,
that one for some
they
reason.
got the wrong one. They had some good designs.
John.
Oh my
buddy.
god.
I can't believe how disappointed David is that you actually own the Mechagodzilla figure.
That is the worst thing from that movie. That is like the most busted.
John, I got you. Okay, John, I got you. So
No, I don't got you.
Mine does not
I don't-
exist.
I don't got you.
But I think that if they made a figure of like, or some kind of figure of Serizawa like hooked into,
Yeah.
now that would be kind of badass and like
Different,
lit
yes.
up and all that. I don't know if it
Yeah.
exists. I'm sure it doesn't yet, but they
yet.
put that out there. But that would be like, I don't have a 2 or 3 because I just sorry. But
Sorry, not sorry.
sorry, not sorry.
End of
But-
segment.
But
Just
you're
kidding.
But yeah, I think that there's potential. Yes.
Yeah,
I
there's
feel you.
Mechagodzilla is horrible. Mechagodzilla is horrible. It's like
so
they
bad.
It's like they asked Stevie Wonder, "What do you think about Mechagodzilla?" He's like, "I like it," and that's exactly what the hell we got. They asked Stevie Wonder. They asked Roy Orbison. Who else is blind? Who else is blind out there? They asked Ray Charles, and he's not even here no more. And we still got Mechagodzilla.
Okay.
If you're gonna tie King Ghidorah into it, you're gonna tie King Ghidorah. It's possessed by King
I'm gonna
Ghidorah.
cry.
You're gonna throw Ghidorah under the bus like that? After coming off the King of the Monsters looking all great? Really? Ghidorah chose that? No, Kevin chose that. Kevin chose that. Kevin chose that. Ran over. Okay.
You know what? I barely got past the purple flying rock, the magic purple flying rocks in the underground world, whatever that was. And
What
then I
the
got to
heck
that
was that?
Mechagodzilla. I was like, I'm checking out.
I
I am
know.
so done.
Oh, so mad.
Forking me, I am done.
What
And
just
me, I'm done.
happened?
Oh my god, nope.
And then like
It
when I
was
saw the
bad,
toys,
I
I was like,
know.
no, even more.
Nope.
Yeah, it's terrible.
God.
You know what?
God.
You know what? I agree. 'cause
I'm
I checked
sorry.
that when I checked that when I saw Rodan and Godzilla go to Planet X. So I agree with that, David.
What? Oh, wow.
You sure about
Oh,
that?
my goodness.
Oh,
You sure
man,
about that?
That's not good. That's not good.
Wow. Who knew episode 40 would get so heated?
Hey, I was very kind in my. Oh no, don't put that thing up there now. What are you doing to me?
Sorry.
What are you trying to do to me?
God.
Wow. We have had Final Wars references. We have had Godzilla Monsterverse references. This is the segment that's tearing us apart.
You're tearing us apart.
It's
Keep
almost
going. Keep on going. You're going to take my place next week. Next month.
Wait, who was this question? Helmy? Yeah, you're fired.
That was Helmy's question.
Helmy is so
Fired.
fired.
Have we all answered Helmy's question?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do the executive decision and make the executive decision to move along to Greg Coggin.
Please do.
Hello, Monster Collectors. Greg here. I'm getting
Greg.
ready to move to Europe. I'm going to be in Portugal by the end of the year. My question is, how many of our group are in Europe, and any problems shipping directly from X Plus to Europe? Next question, I'm starting to look into insurance. I've never insured my collection, and it's kind of getting there. I think it's about time for some insurance. So any tips on affordable, simple, collectible insurance would be great. Ciao. Thanks.
Okay, so before we get to answering, I have a question for our group here, and this is we're not calling ourselves out, but does anybody here have any of our 5 here insured their collection?
No, but I've been thinking about it for
Just
a long
hope
time.
that homeowners.
I have
insurance
not. I have not either. Yeah, I know technically you can do it. If anybody's watching now live and has information about this, go ahead and pop it into the chat, because as it just turns out, like what we're going to do right now is we're going to loosely, pontificatingly answer Greg's question there. So I would say that first question he had was, were there any other members in Europe? And clearly we only got 44 people watching here. And in the Facebook group, we have like 1.7 thousand people there. So definitely a great question for people in the group who will be able to answer that in a much more official way. Like, as you know, I don't know that much about it. But yeah.
I was gonna say, ask Lorena, like Lolo Kaiju.
Lolo.
She gets a lot of stuff shipped to her.
Also, I know that so in terms of being in Europe, we have several members who are in Europe. Lolo's one of them. A guy named Luke Burgundy. There's a whole bunch of them. Anyway, I would suggest asking them directly in the group, just because you're going to get a lot more response there. But in terms of insuring your collection, there is one person that I would point you to say, hey, what do you think about this? And that would be Sean Linkenback of Showcase Kaiju.
Yes.
Sean, he and I have had several conversations that involve insuring a collection, involve identifying collections and so forth like that. So I would basically point to him. Now, I am looking in the chat right now, and it looks like Knights of Old, who we have a question from later.
Knights of Old also.
He's suggesting Collect Insure. CIS. So definitely, Greg, go ahead and seriously, like, I would definitely pop that question not into the chat here, but into our Facebook group, the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors Facebook group. So what Helmy's saying here, originally when I took pictures of my collection last year, it was a dual reason. One was so that if I was going to insure it, I would have photos of everything. Because I hear that that's sort of the most important thing.
It is.
Take photos of everything you have, because that's what you need to prove what it was. But yes, that's what Michael's saying. When I was asking about it a couple of years ago, somebody was basically telling me, like, they're not going to insure your collection for what it's actually worth unless you're paying a ton of money. So just a heads up. Definitely your mileage may vary for whoever you ask, but I would say Sean Linkenback could definitely follow up what Knights of Old is saying there too, in terms of insuring stuff.
That's great.
Anybody else have
as far as Europe goes, we have Chris Hallett, who's from the UK. He lives outside of London, and he's actually been in one of these collecting episodes before.
Gojira fan 1991 is from the UK,
and he gets things shipped to his place from Japan, like, on a regular basis. So you might want to reach out to him. First of all, please, no one else move to Europe or Japan or anywhere. I can't take all my friends leaving the country, so just stay here, please. Thank you very much, and good night. As far as the insurance goes, I definitely have been meaning to do that for years. And now that I'm at this crossroads where I really can't fit anything else, I think that will be a good place to sort of, begin a new thing, like get rid of the things that aren't worth that much and don't mean that much to me. And Keith and I do have a meeting with our financial advisor at the end of this month, so I will definitely pose that question. Maybe they'll have a suggestion or two, but I definitely want to do it, and I think it's important for all of us to do it, because I was just assuming that it is covered under homeowners insurance, but maybe not. That's a question I'm going to ask.
Definitely not if you want to specify.
Correct.
Yeah. Do like a blanket amount.
I think you're going to get with your default homeowners insurance, you're only going to get like a
blanket.
There's a cap. I can't remember what it's called, but
and then you can add it to your policy.
So I wanted. That's a really good question, Greg. And sadly, I need to research it with you, and then when I hear anything, I will get back to you. And I do remember when we moved from California to Seattle, my collection made it completely unscathed, except for one Bandai 1964 King Ghidorah. His head broke because I guess the vinyl got really, brittle or something. And I claimed it, and how much I paid for it, and they covered it. They paid it. So
that's great.
There's that. I mean, I didn't think they were gonna, but it was, they paid it. So anyway, anyone else have a Europe or a insurance answer for Greg?
I just remember in old days going to conventions, there seemed to always be this one collectible insurance company that will always have a table. And matter of fact, I can't say for certain, No, I may not have been there. I'm thinking of ZoloCon here in PA. I wonder if there was one there this past show. I'll keep my eye out, but there was one. It might be the one that Knights of Old is referencing. But I used to see represent that they would be there because they knew everyone there was collecting. But I haven't seen
smart
table in years, to be honest.
Cool. Well, I think those are great answers. I think Greg definitely got some direction. He's watching now, so he was thanking us in the chat. Right. We're going to move along in just a moment. We've got a couple more segments to deal with here. I did want to quickly show off this poster. This is the King of the Monsters poster from China.
Oh, that's rad.
I own.
That is kind of cool.
And I like that one.
I like.
What's
that?
Did you get it? Did you find?
Yeah, I have this one.
Nice.
Long story short, it's not paper; it's silk. So easy to save, I guess. Anyway, we have so much more going on in the rest of this episode, and we're already at 2 hours and 40 minutes in. So thank you so much to everybody who submitted video questions. Very quickly, we have 2 more questions from our viewers. One is from Vincent, and I think I'm just going to ask everybody to kind of answer it kind of quickly.
Yep,
because it's pretty quick. What's your favorite Showa era Mechagodzilla figure? He says his tastes have really gravitated towards a certain choice, but he'd probably be genuinely surprised. Wait, his tastes have really gravitated towards a certain choice, which would probably genuinely surprise some. But before he answers, he'd like to see some of our favorite figures. So, favorite Mechagodzilla Showa figure?
Boom.
David, nice.
This is the Aurora style glitter filled awesome Sofubi from Vinyl Wars, I believe, put this out, right?
I think it's Bullmark.
Bullmark. Anyway, it's great, and I hope the choice that you made isn't the one that John Ruffin made, Vincent, because that would make me unhappy. Anyway, who else has a Mechagodzilla Showa that their favorite?
I'll go next. The X Plus favorite sculptors line, 1974 Mechagodzilla. For a long time, I thought that the gigantic Mechagodzilla was the best one they've ever done, and it's great. Taking away from it, it's awesome. But the favorite sculptors line just surpasses it just a little bit better, in my opinion.
Perfect.
So the FSL 74. That's my answer.
I'd follow with the 75 30 centimeter X Plus. Love
that one.
I mean, I love to shoot it. But
that's right out of the movie.
Great figure.
That's rad.
Stepped right out of the film.
I don't have one, but I would want the U.S. Toys Mechagodzilla because
Nice.
That's awesome.
And it's so cute, but it's not. It's expensive right now.
Yeah, the US
I've not been able to find one. I know, but it's like I have like 4 or 5 of them, and I love their shapes and like the softness of their lines and whatnot. I'm sorry not to go too long, but yes, that.
It's okay.
U.S. Toys.
Yes.
Kyle, you're up.
I really love this small
I love that one too.
Mechagodzilla.
Yes.
I believe David and I each got one of these from the Nishimuras when we were there.
Yes, we did.
By proxy because they had the flu. But beautiful colors. I love the colors on this. It's a black vinyl.
He's right behind me. I love him. Yep. That's a great one.
I mean, I love this figure, but is it my favorite? I don't know. Character's tank Mechagodzilla.
I gotta get a tank, man.
Really
The lure of those are just something. Yeah, I keep seeing them. I'm like, do I need tank things? I don't know.
My problem with Characters, as much as I love them, is that they're kind of elusive, and if you're not there at the show to get them, they double, triple in price. It's like crazy how expensive they get. So I'm really glad. Again, said this back in February. Really glad I was able to get this at Wonder Festival.
I'm stoked.
This is probably my favorite Mechagodzilla figure right now.
Yes, I love it. It would be mine. It would be mine if I had one. Yep, I love it. All right, so we have one more question from Michael, who is Knights of Old. and it's kind of a long question, so let me read it to you guys. I want to add vintage first release Sofubis of all of the Kaiju Destroy All Monsters. Besides Godzilla, I have him. But every time I go to Yahoo, Mercari, Mandarake, I find that sifting through reissues, scams, misinformation, variation, and version research, price referencing, etc., so overwhelming that I fatigue out and I get nothing. I'm a veteran vintage Japanese toy collector, but I'd still like some advice because the amount of reissues and variations of Godzilla toys is staggering. Yes, it is. Any noteworthy reference books or sites besides Club Tokyo? Thank you.
Good question.
Anybody?
Wow. Okay,
I don't
so
have an answer for
reference
that.
books.
Sorry, I'm a newie.
The two reference
have
books
some
that I would suggest would be Sean Lincolnback's Unauthorized Guide to Collectibles, especially if you're looking for older stuff, right? Because that was published in 1996, a very long time ago now. The other book that I would say, another reference, I would also say that Yuji Nishimura's, was it Godzilla? Not Dream, but Yuji Nishimura put out a book that shows... So that's it. The one John's showing off right there. I've got it behind me somewhere too. But John's got it right there. That's the other book that I would suggest. In terms of just being able to identify older items, because again, these are all kind of older.
That's a classic.
I love this book. Yes.
And now, if you're talking specifically about the newer stuff, yikes! That's where it gets iffy, right? It's hard to see, hard to understand who's making what. You can't just tell a lot of the time.
That's what I was going to say. That book, I saw that book when we were at G-Fest. Yeah. Okay. That was a cool exhibit too.
Yeah, that book is cool, but that's the book I'm talking about.
Yep.
The Unauthorized Guide to Godzilla
It's
Collectibles.
wonderful.
That's rad.
Priceless.
And there's one more that I can recommend, Michael. It's I don't know if anybody has it handy. It's the Zenbu Mandarake
Yes.
catalog.
I got that. I'm good.
It's in Japanese, but it's got such amazing reference photos and pricing, like current pricing within the last couple of years. It's really invaluable to me. It's helped me a lot, especially with Sofubi. It does have some model kits and posters and other things too. But it's really inexpensive. And there it is. That's it. The Zenbu Mandarake calendar catalog. It was, how much was that, John? Like $9?
$10.
Yeah, $10. It was really
what?
cheap.
That's rad.
This is priceless.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. I forgot all about that.
That's great. And Kyle, I'll tell you how great that is. That's how I got my information for you to get that piece from Japan.
That's Matango.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. I don't have one of those.
200+ pages just on Godzilla.
Yep.
That's
So that's awesome. So basically, if people don't know, this is a catalog that Mandarake had put out before one of their gigantic auctions. That's what you're essentially seeing here. Is every single thing that was in this book was up for auction. But it was such an incredible auction that the spread of information in this catalog is crazy. So Alcasaurus is asking about this. Essentially, I think the best thing to do is probably to find it on Mandarake's website and post a link in the group, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I would honestly get one of those myself too.
It's a great book. And I don't know if you guys heard this while a couple people were talking, but Kyle was in Japan recently with his group. And I was asking him to pick up a vintage piece for me. And it was very specific. And I looked at the nuances from the details from the Zenbu catalog to actually send to Kyle so he got the right figure for me, because they all look so similar. And he certainly did. It worked out great. So it is definitely a very helpful resource.
It is.
And it was a vintage piece too. And I know you're into vintage.
Kaiju Special Collection. This is priceless.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know if there's another book with this much documentation.
There's a lot in there. There's it's very complete. It's very complete.
And then there's other Showa age books that do a little documentation in some of the old old Japanese magazines, Uchusen and Figure King, and the older ones have some really good documentation for some of the old Sofubi and things.
Right on.
And if you ever need a question answered by a specific individual, like Kyle said, Sean Lincolnback is very helpful. He's very willing to help people. And also Boschzilla has a page, a Facebook group that deals with vintage Godzilla's Sofubi figures, and he's a super nice guy too. He could help you out if you have any questions. I'll send you the link.
All right. Well, you guys, we are encroaching the 3-hour mark. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a giveaway. And let's go ahead. Leslie, I saw your note. So thanks for your time today, buddy. It was great having with you. Leslie's got to go, but we're going to bring on, because, we can't just say goodbye to one person and have that be the end of the show. We're going to bring on Jonathan, our producer. No, I guess he was bringing himself on. So I'll let you bring on Ryan. I'll keep my hands off the controls. And,
I have to.
Thank you, Leslie.
I have to go. My mom's flying into town, and her flight is arriving sooner rather than later. I thought she would arrive a little bit later than this, but I have to go pick her up. But again, I'm so sorry. Yes. I love you. Thank y'all so much. I'll see you.
Happy Mama Gun Day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, Leslie.
Take care, Leslie. Love you more.
Later, man.
See you, buddy. Okay, so
hi, Ryan.
We'll
Jonathan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for being here, of course, again. Let me get this video presentation ready, because right after we show this, we are going to be collecting entries to win an original piece of art. And that giveaway is by a good friend of ours named Giuseppe Bianco, who goes by the name of Kaiju Sketches.
Yeah!
Hello, Kaiju collectors. Today is a very exciting day for me because I actually get to be on Collect All Monsters. Thank you guys so much for having me, Kyle, Leslie, Christine, David, and John. I'm such a fan of all of you and everything that you do. The reason why I'm here is because today we're going to do a very special giveaway of, I think it's special, I hope you guys think it's special. It's one of my original pieces of art, and it's not a printout, it's actually the original, the original ink drawing.
Amazing.
And what I was going for here with this piece, on first glance, you look at it and it just looks like the two Mothra and larvae breaking out of the egg. Larvae, larvas. I'm not sure, I'm just gonna say larva. Plural of larva is larvae, I think, whatever. So basically what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a giveaway of this piece of art. And on first glance, it looks like it's just the larva cracking the egg and bursting out. But what I really was going for was sort of a Godzilla-esque silhouette as they break from the egg. So if you look up close and you look at their tails, you can see that the tips of their tails are kind of forming Godzilla's claw-like hands, and the cracks in the egg are looking like his dorsal plates. So I don't know that I really pulled it off. I don't think I did, but it was a lot of fun to try. So there it is. There's my piece of art. And I want to wish everyone who is taking part in this giveaway the best of luck. And to the Collect All Monsters crew, thank you again so much for having me. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep creating this amazing content for this fandom and community, and keep collecting all monsters.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you, Giuseppe.
What an awesome
Thank you, Giuseppe.
Thank
you.
So awesome. Giuseppe is giving away this amazing original artwork. I saw a little bit of chatter in the chat room right now. So if you're interested in winning this, we're going to do the Collect All Monsters Monster Collector moment in just a second. But what I want you to do is drop hashtag Kaiju_sketches. That's Giuseppe's Instagram title, name, whatever. And I want you to drop that into the chat, and we'll gather those comments with the StreamYard giveaway tool in just a second. But first, it's time for us to show off. Yeah, we don't need to show the banner anymore. It's time for us to show off our collector bone. All right, we are joined by Ryan Wilhelm and Jonathan Portman, and no Nick today. Nick's
no Nick yet.
Ziplining into Godzilla's mouth on Atami Island right now.
Nick is ziplining into Godzilla's mouth. Unfortunately, he had something he had to take care of last minute, so he regrettably like to inform you guys that he wishes he could be here. But like always, he'll be back next time. most likely. So I will pinch hit for him in the meantime.
No worries. Well, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get that screen share going, and you guys can take care of that.
Yes. Well, so starting off, we like to we appreciate everybody that posts in the group and is lively in our Facebook group, and we love what you show us. This, for example, Edward Jean de Leduc, he does this he's really awesome. I just love his aesthetic with like the black backgrounds and the way he has everything lit. It's very striking with the colors. I love his bear model. I call it bear model madness here. The Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, kind of fitting because we were just talking about Mechagodzilla. So here we go. Thank you, Edward, and we appreciate your post.
His collection is dope.
And I don't know about you guys, but right now I'm still locked in Shin overload, whether it's Ultraman, Godzilla, soon to be Kamen Rider. I cannot wait to see that film. But I dubbed this one Shin Kaiju Rule. This is Shin Nogura. He's a 10 out of 10. Like, I love this piece. Shout out to Vince Elliott. Your stuff is amazing, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, this speechless, right? This is amazing.
Beautiful. I love it.
Awesome.
And you know, Ryan, I think that deserves a little Wilhelm scream.
Wilhelm scream. Oh, God.
Because I didn't do it before. So I had to get it in now. And okay, so this is one of Nick's picks. So these are the Pachi Kaiju Mini Sofubi. This is a line from 1971, 1972 from Nev Michaels. Basically, these are, from what I was told, very vintage. So very cool. Thank you for posting this. I love the way they're set up.
Oh my
Really
God,
awesome.
that Zarab is everything. It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
It's everything. Ooh, and here we go with Vincent Perez, another mainstay in the community. It was someone who posts a lot all the time. We appreciate your posts. Here we have I call him Hedo Hughes flying form, basically, because he has a very cool aesthetic as well, and he does the black background, very striking with the lighting and the colors. I love this type of photograph. So thank you for sharing. As always, you have a lot of really cool and fun things to share.
Yes, he does.
And here's another one for Leslie. This is X Plus Gyms. Show us the goods, because this is all Showa pieces from our friend Edwin. Really like this stuff, man. It makes me miss all of the X Plus pieces I used to have in my collection. Maybe I'll get back into some more X Plus. We'll see. But this one's awesome.
Great photo.
And here's another Nick pick. This is from Joshua Goji, A Slice of Monster Heaven. Now, I think Nick alluded to this last time. I think it was about 2 episodes ago. We may have featured some piece from Joshua as well. Really awesome kind of aesthetic. He's got this VHS sort of show us, kind of dimmed color aesthetic. I really like it. It looks really cool. And he has a little diorama, it looks like, behind him. So I appreciate that those little fine details.
Great collection.
Thank you, Joshua.
Indeed. Very cool.
Speaking of finer details, and we did mention the legendary stuff earlier, so I just want to show a little bit of love towards that, right? Not my favorite cup of tea. However, this picture is outstanding. SH Monster Art Soar. This is the Fire Demon. My favorite part of the legendary stuff, the Rodan. Shout out to our friend Torsten O here. Thank you so much, man, for your awesome picture.
I love that. I think I missed that one. That's beautiful.
Looks like some live effects there too. That's kind of cool.
It's very cool.
That's cool.
And here we go. Simon Lee. I wish this was my pick, but it's a Nick pick. Max Toy Shin Ultraman. Awesome. Simon's just a really, really cool. Like, he's got a really cool aesthetic. I love his photos. I love what he shows off. If you get a chance, go on Facebook, just in our group and search his name. Also on Instagram as well. Really fun, really interesting, cool aesthetic and vibe with his posts.
Yeah, Simon has been killing it with his posts.
He's been killing it.
So inspirational.
He's like John and Kyle. He's a graphic designer, so his stuff is just next level in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite. This is probably my favorite one because it's so unique. Okay, so
that existed.
Here's the thing.
Man.
This is basically from Creature Preacher, and I'm saying Creature Preacher presents The Last Dinosaur. You know, Daniel Damana, we love your stuff. I love the VHS tapes in the background.
Mhm.
And I love,
Yeah,
it
you
looks
do.
like the Laserdisc of Rodan behind there, which is super cool because I love the Paramount Gateway like art covers. I forget who the artist was, but those covers were always eye-popping to me when I was a kid. And so these are basically 3D printed.
Really?
Sculpted and
really?
painted. Yes.
They're-
And how
they're
good
perfect.
did they look? I mean,
Wow.
those are pretty impressive. I just
Yes.
thought they were actual figures.
I know.
And I love The Last Dinosaur. I think
Wow.
we all kind of
Amazing.
love The Last Dinosaur. It doesn't get enough love. You know, it's
That's
kind of
Godzilla
an enigma out there.
Yeah.
You know? And it's got a killer theme song.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Joan Van
Oh,
Ark.
yes. That's Godzilla SARS, and we didn't know it.
It might be.
I'm telling you. Same story.
And that is the collector's moment.
Nice.
Everybody.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well done. Well
Great
done.
photography.
Wait.
Well
hang on
done
a
as
second.
usual.
That's not
Great
the right
work,
one.
everybody.
That's not the right one. That's the right one.
We'll get there eventually. We'll get there.
Right on. There's so many layouts to choose from. So thanks, guys. Man, I really love that you guys are coming on and sharing all this stuff that we're doing in the groups. As we say all the time, please make sure to join us in the Facebook group, the Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors. It's literally where we hang out in between episodes, really. So people are always posting stuff that they're getting. People do live box days. Please, just make sure to join. And if you're not already a member, you want to join, please make sure to read the rules and agree to the rules so that we know that you are, in fact, a Class Act collector.
That's Paramount.
Yes.
Yes, a Paramount collector. All right. So before we went to the collector moment, we were taking hashtag entries for the awesome original artwork from our good friend Giuseppe. And so now what we do typically is we use the StreamYard giveaway tool so people can see exactly what we're doing here with 100% transparencies. We got 10 entries. So let's go find out who's going to be the big winner.
Good luck.
I know
everybody.
Helmy said he wants to win. Does Australia favor
Original work. Original. Wow.
the choice?
Oh,
Robert
Dwyer!
Nice. Well, congratulations, Robert.
That's
No stranger to winning Collect
Wow.
All Monsters stuff. Robert has been a dedicated fan and viewer of the show for quite a long time. Not to mention, he was part of the inaugural Collect All Monsters Monster Collector invasion of Japan that happened back in February with me.
Yeah, all right.
So
Right.
congratulations, Robert.
Hey.
We will figure out how to get that to you. I don't know if David has it already or if Giuseppe's going to send it
I
directly
have
to
it.
you.
It's upstairs. Just
Fantastic.
Awesome.
He just has to remind me of his address, and I'll get it out this week.
Congrats.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay. So that's going to pretty much do it for this episode. Don't forget, tomorrow is Mother's Day. So call your mothers.
on.
Call
your mama guns.
All the mothers.
Call your mama guns.
Be nice to your mama guns.
I'll put this out to the group since we're like all together right now. We don't have anything on deck for the end of the month in the group. Should we do another garage sale stream?
I think that would be great. I would love that.
Okay. I know that some people are hesitant just before G-Fest kind of stuff, but we could give it a shot. See if anybody's interested. We'll talk about it in the Facebook group.
I think that's a great idea. I'm down.
Okay. So don't forget to join us next episode, June 17th, because we're going to have... Actually, I don't know what we're going to do yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. But this is, of course, where we close out the show and I say, until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters.
Thanks, Gretchen.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you later.